Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever you may be, however you may be listening, or however you may be viewing. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN. We're streaming live at currentradio.com. Dawson Pitchers filling in for vacationing Chris Burdick. We got a busy Friday broadcast as we head into the weekend. Hope you don't suffer from, again, triskaidekaphobia. For the second time this year, we've got a Friday the 13th. And yes, I did put down March the 13th on the YouTube rundown for the first time this month, I do believe. It's a Friday, so Rick Bentley's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. And we've got more on some ongoing stories, the saga between the Open Door Network and Lauren Skidmore and the DA's office, which, in my opinion, are attempting to put forward a fraud and trying to besmirch the name of Lauren Skidmore and the Open Door Network. We've got some excerpts from our interview with the executive director of the Open Door Network from yesterday, Lauren Skidmore. If you want to see the interview in its entirety and didn't get an opportunity yesterday, you can go to YouTube and look under March the 12th, because I accidentally put 4 to all month long. Today's the first month where it'll actually read 3/13/26. The rest of the month I've been putting April. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. Old age and a combination of old age and THC has caused that issue. But under 4/12/26, and I think I'm wearing an Honor Flight shirt with an Honor Flight tag on the collar. You can go back and scroll forward. You don't have to listen to the whole broadcast. There's a little red button on the bottom of the view. Just go to YouTube, punch in my name, Ralph Bailey, and then when it comes up on the screen, there should be a red button on the bottom that you can fast forward to 5 o'clock and listen specifically to the Lauren Skidmore interview. Or you just listen to the whole damn show. 3 hours yesterday. We'll get you updated on Epic Fury. There is good news for the Trump administration. Some numbers have drastically changed. I'll break that down for you. We didn't, because of all the local news yesterday, talk about the ROT shooting on the Virginia campus of Old Dominion. We'll get to that today, along with the attack on the Michigan synagogue. It is day 2 of the Players' Championship. It was an interesting day. They're still out on the course down in Ponte Vedra, Florida, and we'll get you caught up on that. And the health department is cracking down on these side street vendors who I've been downtown. They're selling hot dogs and tacos. In fact, I've got one about 75 yards from my front yard. They're sandwiched between my house and Casey's Steakhouse. And to be blunt, Cassie's not extremely happy about that. And the county is cracking down on some of these vendors because they don't have permits. And they're threatening to, give you a warning, then give you a citation. And then if they have to come out 2, 3, 4 times, because a lot of these vendors are ignoring what the health department says and are selling without a permit, they come out a 3rd or 4th time, they're talking about, taking your food, throwing it away, or giving it to charity, or taking your equipment. And they're having an information kind of symposium tomorrow at Beale Park from 9 to 1 p.m. I doubt if any of the vendors are listeners of this broadcast, but I thought I'd give that information out nevertheless. In the meantime, we begin with the continuing saga, or I guess it's over, although I think there's more to come with the decision by the District Attorney's Office to end the relationship with the Open Door Network, which deals with the Family Justice Center in providing assistance and comfort in some respects to domestic violence victims, human trafficking victims, criminal victims of violent crimes in entirety. And they're basically trying to pull off, in my opinion, just strictly in my opinion, one of the biggest flim-flams you've ever seen. Because if you remember when this whole thing began, they handed this off to Daniela Gonzaga, who is the PR person, public relations person for the district attorney's office. And what she initially said was, the new provider has a greater depth of victims service programs that we feel are more tailored to the needs of victims, and we are confident the improved services will enhance our ability to assist victims of sexual assault, domestic violence, human trafficking, and elder abuse. The Kern County Family Justice Center is excited to welcome a new community partner and service provider in the near future. We look forward to sharing more details soon. So, meaning in the near future, I glean from that they haven't selected anybody. But what they first tried to put out was that they had found somebody better than the Open Door Network, which of course is absurd, unless it's some big group out of Los Angeles. But we'll see what they come up with, because in my opinion, this is all, they're all throwing this together at once, because they got caught. They got caught in a vindictive attempt to besmirch Lauren Skidmore because she is clearly sided with the DA's nephew's estranged wife, Christina Scrivener. Ms. Skidmore went to Sacramento with State Senator Shannon Grove and is helping get legislation passed. In that very same press conference, Christina Scrivener appeared, and the second of their four boys appeared as well and chronicled his disastrous and terrorized relationship with his father, again, the nephew of the DA. And that's, in my opinion, when the camel's back was broken. And they decided, they being Cynthia Zimmer, that they were going to go after Lauren Skidmore. They have now come up with reasons insisting that she's worked unethically. They've used, certainly not Cynthia Zimmer to say these things. They've used Ken Russell and Mr. Kinzinger to write letters questioning Lauren Skidmore's ethics, despite the fact that there's no record of that anywhere inside either the Family Justice Center or the DA's office. This was thrown together to justify the vindictive, mean-spirited, bitter attack on Lauren Skidmore by the DA's office because she's not siding with the top cop's nephew. It's that plain and it's that simple. And even if I'm wrong, which is possible, doesn't matter, because perception and appearance is everything. And this thing is starting to gel. It's starting to cement. I don't know if you saw the news last night and the text messages and what's going on social media. I didn't want to use the R word yesterday. I did late in the broadcast after I learned that it was already resonating on Facebook and on social media. But I thought that Cynthia Zimmer's term was soon coming to an end. I learned yesterday that she's until 28. So now the recall word is viable. And I think it's going to go into action. Are they going to remove Cynthia Zimmer? I doubt it. I'll be honest with you, but who knows? But I think a recall is inevitable. She picked on the wrong woman. They're trying to smear a woman who's got an impeccable record, an absolutely impeccable reputation in terms of ethics, and to cover up the bitter, revengeful attempt to kill that contract led by Miss Skidmore. They created this line of unethical behavior by Lauren Skidmore. They mentioned the Genesis Mata case. They mentioned another case involving a gentleman by the name of Kevin Mays, but don't provide any specifics as to what she said that possibly put these cases in jeopardy. And let me ask you a question, because I'm not an attorney. Most of you aren't. But wouldn't you think that if any juncture in a prosecution of a case that somebody, anybody, me, Dawson Pitcher, Lauren Skidmore, said anything that put a case in jeopardy, don't you think bells and whistles and alarms would have gone off? And yet there's no record of this. There's no record of the DA's office contacting Lauren Skidmore and saying, hey, you know that Ralph Bailey case or that Genesis Mata case? Hey, knock it off. No, it all came after the fact. It all came after the fact that Lauren Skidmore was ensconced in the Christina Scrivener and Christina Scrivener Children's Corner. That's when the unethical charges all of a sudden emerged. All of a sudden came out of nowhere with Ken Russell and this Kinzinger character playing left and right guard for the quarterback of the team, Cynthia Zimmer. And of course, Zimmer's hands are nowhere to be found on those letters. Nowhere to be found. So perhaps she can say, this was Ken Russell's work. And remember, these guys are like the mafia. You've seen enough mafia movies. It's always the best friend that comes up from behind you and shoots you in the head. Well, guess what? In 28, who do you think is going to run for DA? Because it ain't going to be Cynthia Zimmer. And if it is, there'll be a challenger. And where do you think the challenger is going to come from? You think it's going to be a public defender? You think it's going to be a cop? No, it's going to be one of the deputy DAs. And you better believe this will be the highlight of their campaign. Because there's so much going on. There's so much screwiness going on in the DA's office, according to at least 3 of my sources, who I've confirmed all 3 once worked in the DA's office. 2 of them worked in the county counsel's office. Can't give you their titles because that would lend to figure out who they are. But 3 of them, 2 of the messages sent to me, I forwarded to the news organizations, where they're talking about utter chaos, turnover, charges of discrimination, and hostile work environment. In fact, there's talk that there is a pending lawsuit that involves one of the chiefs in the DA's office. So this isn't anything new. Running roughshod for the boss. And the reality is, it's all for nothing. Cynthia Zimmer did nothing wrong, as I've tried to explain from the get-go. Even when I was critical of the infamous phone call to Donnie Youngblood, we had Donnie Youngblood on one of our most viewed shows in YouTube. We had over 500 people watching that Donnie Youngblood interview, in which the sheriff explained there was nothing untoward about that conversation. You think that that's the first powerful person in this town that's called me when they've had a family member that might be in a fix? And as I've bluntly stated, if my nephew Thaddeus was up here visiting me one weekend and got into some kind of scrape and got involved with the sheriff's department, you don't think I would pick this thing up and call Donnie Youngblood? You damn Skippy, I would. But beyond that, the DA's office had nothing to do with the pass that her nephew got. It's all on the AG's office. And yet she's used her power and her minions to try to besmirch Lauren Skidmore. Like, maybe you could come after me and talk smack about me, and this community would say, yeah, that sounds like Ralph. Or maybe you could come after, I don't know, a lot of people. But Lauren Skidmore, whose father is a respected rancher in this town, whose roots go deep in the history of Kern County, who was once an aide or a chief of staff for Vince Vaughn, and as far as I've heard, not a word or peep negative about her. Cynthia, you picked on the wrong gal. And the community is going to come running over the hill like the cavalry in support of this woman. And here's the tragedy, because I got to get going. Here's the true tragedy. If I'm right, and I could be totally wrong, who the hell knows what I know? But if we lose Cynthia Zimmer, if she ends up not running in 28, or one of the deputy DAs, figuratively speaking, whacks her and beats her, we lose a good DA. We really do. The thing that I love about Cynthia Zimmer, she can't stand criminals. Can't stand them. And has the heart of the size of Texas for victims. I am totally in debt to the DA's office, Tristan O'Neill, Cynthia Zimmer, the hard work they put in after I was attacked in a restaurant, had my jaw broken. Then later the jaw got infected. I had to have 2 surgeries. I still don't speak the way I once spoke. I still have no feeling in my bottom lip. I took out 2 molars when it got infected and screwed up my mouth, even furthering my hoobah. You want to get close to me, Jack. Ugh. But I'm totally in debt to these people. But it can't stop me from defending a person who I respect and admire and an organization that I've respected and admired for years, the Open Door Network, which used to be the Alliance Against Family Violence and Sexual Assault. And our very dear friend, one of my best friends, Louis Gill. This is a sham. The office should be ashamed, and somehow they should be wrong for it, but they won't. But the way we get back is to never elect Cynthia Zimmer Dogcatcher and to remember the names Ken Russell and Kinzinger. And when they attempt to replace her, remember those names, because those men should be politically punished for what they're trying to do to Lawrence Skidmore. Let's go. In fact, I've got some audio to play when we come back from our interview yesterday with the aforementioned executive director of the Open Door Network. Then at the bottom of the hour, we'll pivot rapidly with our good friend, KGET entertainment reporter Rick Bentley. He'll be happy to hear that's gotten some recent reports on our 3:30 Friday segment. Then we'll get you updated on current events, last situation with the war. There's some surprising new numbers, polls, in terms of opposition and favorability for Epic Fury. Get you caught up on the ROT shooting on the campus of Old Dominion, one of our oldest colleges in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And day 2 of the Players' Championship is just about concluding. 622 in Ponte Vedra. Get you caught up on that. And I've got to defend Bam Adebayo. I got to defend him. I know I had a problem with him, as apparently most of the country does, because will Kobe Bam? Well, now they're bagging on the guy for breaking Kobe's record, and that's just not right, because they fed Wilt when he got his 100, and the Lakers were up by 15 points with like 3 minutes to go, and they kept Kobe in, and they kept feeding him too. So don't even try to rewrite history. Like I said, I had a problem with Bam, Kobe, and Wilt in the same paragraph, but it is what it is. Quick time out, just getting started on Friday. It's TRBS right here on News Talk 96.1 at AM 1180 KRN. We're streaming live at currentradio.com. Seven. One of the highlights of this radio broadcast appears on Thursday at 4:30. Our money man, Daniel Petrie, with Best Maker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. You all know by now what Best Maker and Petrie Wealth Advisors are all about. You know that I've turned on staff members who are extremely happy to be a client with Daniel. And I've told you I've been a client for almost a decade now, and it is the single most important and smartest financial
or other financial instrument, or to offer or provide any investment advisory or other services to any person in any jurisdiction by Daniel Petrie or MTWAE, DBA, Messmaker, and Petrie Wealth Advisors. Any views expressed in this broadcast by us are prepared based upon the information available to us at the time, and we are under no obligation to update our views.
Bring your visions to life with smart business buying tools and technology from Amazon Business. From fast, free shipping to in-depth buying insights and automated purchase approvals, we deliver everything you need to achieve your goals. Go to AmazonBusiness.com for support.
Even if you've given up on your New Year's resolutions, one health habit that's easy to keep is Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon. in stores at CVS, Walgreens, and now GNC.
Americans are paying more for home and auto insurance, and many are asking what can actually bring those costs down. American Property Casualty Insurance Association President and CEO David Sampson says inflation and disasters play a role, but addressing legal system abuse is a key part of the solution.
Excessive legal costs drive insurance prices higher. States that reduce legal system abuse are seeing stronger markets and lower rates. Addressing these costs help protect consumers.
Learn more at apci.org/insurance.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-498-6548. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-498-6548. That's 800-498-6548. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
I wish you'd give your music list to Chris. How come there's such a variety when you produce? And I got to send Chris songs. No, I'm not talking smack about my producer. Never talk smack about your producer. But you should leave some suggestions. Just saying. Mr. Mars. The interview we did with Lauren Skidmore was in reaction to some of the things that in my opinion, the DA's office is actually manufactured in questioning her ethics. We asked her about that yesterday in our interview that you can catch on YouTube. Just go back to 412 and listen to the entire thing. But here's Lauren on her own ethical questions.
For me, the biggest concern after sitting with it a little bit is that victims are going to have a gap in services. And they can claim that there will be a new service provider, and I hope that is a service provider that has as much experience and expertise and training as we do.
How is that possible?
Well, I mean, unless they're out of town, and
exactly,
and then
unless they're out of Kern County,
right? And so I have described this a little bit. This gets a little in the weeds, but we are the only rape crisis center that supports Kern County. Women's Center High Desert does have some similar designation and similar experience, but they're not doing it. I talked to them.
Exactly.
This is, yes, you can provide supportive services. Yes, you can provide case management, but we have the emergency shelter. We have the training. We have the legal authority to be able to advocate on behalf of victims because of our grants, because of our funding, because of our trainings. And it's going to be problematic.
So the DA's office is willing to sacrifice domestic violence and human trafficking victims for vengeance on this woman. And going even further, it had been one thing, and again, I probably would have left it alone, and I think this community would have left it alone if they had simply said, we're moving on and stepped with their original story, which we've got a better provider, which I don't think they have anybody under contract or anybody really in mind. I think they're scrambling right now to find somebody. And then in the long run, when that person or that organization and that group can't size up with the Open Door Network, then the questions are really going to be asked. And I think the Board of Supervisors are going to get involved in this. I really do. Rick Bentley joins us next.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With us for news, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The American
How are you,
military
sir?
has ordered 2,500 Marines and an amphibious assault ship to the Middle East. That's according to a U.S. official who spoke Friday to the Associated Press. The deployment is a major addition of forces in the region after nearly 2 weeks of war with Iran. The U.S. is temporarily easing part of its sanctions measures on Russian oil, a reflection of global worries about sharply higher oil prices due to the Iran war. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the U.S. will lift sanctions for 30 days on Russian oil that is already aboard tankers. That means customers in other countries can buy it without worrying about sanctions punishment. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 119 points. This is SRN News.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Chris Davis. An ID on the pilot killed in the helicopter crash near the Tehachapi Pass wind farm. The Kern County Coroner's Office says he was 62-year-old Stephen Madewell of New Plymouth, Idaho. No further info about the crash has been released, and the NTSB is in charge of the investigation. The city of Bakersfield may put part of the police department's offices in the old Bank of America building or Truxton Tower. Downtown, the city council voted to move forward with a lease with an option to purchase. The school threats in McFarland are over, believe police there, with the arrest of a 13-year-old who they say made threats Wednesday against the junior high. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180. KERN.
It's that man again for Sangera Subaru and the Subaru A Lot to Love event going on now through March 31st at Sangera Subaru. And of course, spring is the best time to get an incredible offer on that new Subaru you've been waiting for, like a 2026 Forester CVT. Lease one now for only $179 a month for 36 months and just $5,000 due at signing. And remember, every Subaru always comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive. And don't forget, this offer ends March 31st. So stop by and see my good friends Damon Culbertson, Hassan Levy, and all the guys during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Pick out your new Subaru for spring and hit the open road. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community at 5500 Gasoline Alley Drive in the Bakersville Auto Mall, 24/7 at sangerasubaru.com.
Through March 31st, 2026, lease a 2026 Forester CVT for $179 a month on a 36-month lease. $5,000 due at lease signing plus tax and license. Zero speed deposit, 7,500 mile year limit, 15 cents per mile overage. MSRP $32,183. VIN number T3030467. Product code TFB-01.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Air conditioning running. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, we'll have the latest in gas price technology. That's
Are you
always
excited
good
about
news.
the
The latest
Academy?
in our half a cat fight between the DA's office and the Open Door Network. We got America's Job Center at Current. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1, and we're streaming live on the World Wide Web at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You can't talk with your mouth.
It's radio. Relax. It's a
There
Friday.
are people watching.
Like it's secret. That's the joy of being on
It's
YouTube.
behind the
You can see
scenes.
exactly.
Yeah,
Rick Bentley from KGT
Hey!
Entertainment Reporters live in studio. We've gotten some recent high marks for this segment.
Really?
Yeah, people in the chat room. Lisa came by and said how much she enjoys this segment. Yes.
Yeah, I love that this community drinks so much. Yeah, those two are great. Put them on.
Especially middle of the day.
Middle of the
it's always
day.
good to be
Yeah, if you're drinking,
3 sheets to the win at 3:30.
if you're
in the
drinking at this
afternoon.
time of day, we do sound good.
Yes, yes. And I once used to do that
Yeah,
on the weekends.
and I also
Day drinking was fun back in the day.
Oh, I bet. I do feel like I'm a whiplash guest.
A whiplash guest. How so?
Well, you're talking about serious things like politics and local.
You're the
crime,
relief. You're the
and then
relief
suddenly
pitcher.
we go.
Yes, you're the relief.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to burden a show with depressing news about their district attorney.
Are you calling me natural gas? Is that what
Yes, you're the natural gas.
I'm
You're
the natural
relief.
gas
You're
of the show.
You lift it up. Well, I bring it down, and then you lift it up.
I lift it right back.
That's right. That's right. So we're all looking forward to, I suppose, not really,
The Oscars?
The Oscars. I'm just not.
You know what? I am ready for the award season to be over.
I concur.
And I have argued this, and it's getting worse and worse, that the Oscars coming at the dead last of all this. By this point, we're all like, I get it. This is a good movie. That's a good actress. That's a good actor, blah, 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 blah. We don't care by now. Some of those films came out more than a year ago.
Yep.
I am literally I've done 10 movie reviews already this year. And now I've got to go back and start thinking about, I've got to talk about those old movies now.
Yeah. What's wrong? Oh, you cut out Mr. Bentley. He did not have you in the shot.
Oh, that's okay. I
think he did it on purpose.
I planned it that way.
Yeah,
No, I was the one that moved the camera. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you cut yourself out. And I like that shirt.
Thank you.
It's a great color.
It goes with my socks.
You got to show the socks. Yeah, there you go.
So.
Yeah, you got to show the socks.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. And I looked up last year.
Yes.
The Oscars were on March 2nd last year.
Big difference.
Now that's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm convinced that delay has given Timothée Chalamet a chance to talk himself out of an Oscar.
Absolutely.
He has just
He really has
blown it.
He really, really has. What did he say again? I keep forgetting.
Well, that people don't care about ballet and opera.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And isn't he somehow connected to ballet? Isn't his mother or something? He's somehow connected to ballet somehow.
Yeah. But he's also connected to the arts. And you know what? I don't care for, let's say, op art, or I don't care for rap music, or I don't care for Shakespeare. But that doesn't mean there are not lots of people out there who do care about it.
And that it's a viable art form.
Exactly.
I mean,
just because it doesn't match your taste,
it
doesn't mean, I know people out there who eat pickled pig's feet. I would never do that. But if that's what you like, that's fine. But you don't condemn the people for that. So I think he was, I really feel like up to about 3 weeks ago, he was the leading contender to win Best Actor for his work in Marty Supreme.
The ping pong movie.
Yeah. And I love that he's talking about two art forms that nobody cares about, and he's in a ping pong movie. When was the last time you thought, I want to see a documentary on ping pong?
Yes.
There's so many fascinating. I've just finished watching the curling documentary, and I know everything about curling. I need to know more about ping pong.
And it's especially poignant for our community because we have a local girl, as you well know, because I think you've interviewed her, who is a mega star ballerina.
Oh, yeah. She is the Tiger Woods.
Yes. The former
Tyler Peck.
Tyler Peck, whose sister was once the principal at Garces, Micah Peck.
Yeah, but literally, when it comes to the elite of the elites, she is that.
Yeah.
And so, so we know in this community, and you can just look at all the dance schools here, how important dance is.
It really is. I dated a ballerina. They're fascinating people.
Oh,
they're different.
They
really
every
are.
Time I interview somebody who connected with ballet, I say, I believe ballet dancers are the greatest athletes on the planet. Because
I don't know about all that, but they are incredibly gifted. You're right.
You're
absolutely right.
You have to be talented, strong, and be graceful, make it all look so easy.
Yes.
And do it on your toes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, they have the ugliest feet in the world.
Oh, they do. They have.
This girl she was a beautiful girl too.
And so I think
she had the ugliest feet I ever saw in my life.
But the good news, since Timothée knocked himself out, I now think it's going to go to the person who should have won it from the beginning.
Who is?
Michael B. Jordan.
You think so? Sinners got more nominations than any movie in history.
Exactly. And in that film, he plays two characters.
He plays twin brothers. And I will guarantee you, if you watch it, they are so different. You almost start thinking, did they really find somebody who looks like Michael B. Jordan to play this? He plays two distinct, very good, very strong characters. So I thought from the beginning he deserved it. I thought Chalamet's performance in Marty Supreme was just one note. Yeah.
But again, we'll see what happens. And that's the thing about. I did want to talk about Best Picture because this is that interesting category of all of them.
That's what we all wait for.
And
Is it the last?
It is always the last.
Yeah.
I will give you my little quiz of the day.
You know how I love quizzes.
Do you remember what won Best Picture last year?
Oh, please. If you're going to stay in the 21st century, you know I'm out.
I know, but I'm just, the point I'm
No
trying-
idea.
and
Dawson, do you remember last year's winner? He has no idea.
I have asked 15 people that so far today.
And nobody's answered.
Nobody's answered Honora.
Honora, of course.
Exactly. But the point of this is, when you get your ballot to vote for the Oscars, there are
Yes.
5 nominees in every category except Best Picture. There are 10 there. So in all the other categories, you go down and you say, oh, my best actor, I pick one. My best actress, I pick one. Best song, I pick one. Okay? Sounds simple. Now we get to the Best Picture category. There are 10 of them. You don't pick, oh, this is my favorite film. Check. You rank them 1 to 10.
Are you serious?
Every voter ranks them 1 to 10.
Okay.
So what you have to have is that 50% of the people like the film to be named Best Picture. If that's one of the films doesn't get 50% of the voting,
Yeah.
they throw out the 10th place one, then they do the calculations again, then they throw out, anyway.
Do you see why there are no new sitcoms on television? Why there are no new ideas in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Because these are some of the dumbest people in the world.
This is incredibly dumb.
That's the craziest, stupidest thing I've ever heard.
People always ask me, well, why is it sort of, some pictures we don't expect, like Nora wins, and how does it, beat out something that's very popular or anything? You have to remember, let's say I got 1 to 10.
Right.
Let's say I'm going to vote for Sinners this year as my number 1. Okay. But I just hated One Battle After Another. I'm going to put that number 10. Now, if there's enough old fogies like me who do that, or vice versa, let's say I was going for One Battle and let's say Sinners, because that's a vampire movie. Probably old fogies wouldn't care for that. If enough of them put them at number 10, it's not going to ever get near the top.
Right.
So you have to, even if Sinners is not your favorite, it should be in the top 1 or 2. But if you just don't like that genre and everything, you put it at 10, the numbers are never going to add up.
Why are they doing this? What's the point?
I think it's to make sure that they can say, we've looked at we didn't give one thing a little bit preference over the other because a studio spent more money promoting it, or there are more people that are involved with, Warner Brothers that are voting than are with Universal Studios, or they're trying to wait. But it's just stupid. It's a popularity contest. It means nothing.
Exactly.
Although it does mean the winner always gets re-released and makes another $10 to $15 million. So yeah, there's a plus to it.
What percentage of the voting group you think actually sees all 10 films?
Okay. The number of voters for voting for Best Picture, there are 10,000 voters.
Okay.
Okay. I would say of that 10,000, those who have seen
All
every
10.
film,
All 10.
Maybe 5%.
That's what I was guessing. That's why I asked the
That's
question.
what I'm saying.
That's exactly why I asked the question.
Now, how many of them have seen 5? At least 5?
3, 4, most of them.
Then I'm going to say that bumps up to 50 to 60%.
They've definitely seen Sinners.
Yes.
They've definitely seen DiCaprio.
You're right.
And maybe you throw in 2 more. That's about it.
Yeah, F1.
Yeah.
Those kind of things.
Yeah.
But only the diehards, will go to everything. And then they make it easy for you.
Yeah.
If you remember the Voting Academy, there are free screenings constantly down there. So if you say, I haven't seen.
Well, I thought they sent it to you. I thought they sent all the movies to you.
They used to.
They don't do that anymore?
No, they got into a lot of problems with copyright. People, I'm not saying people sold them on eBay, but.
So they've got to go out and see these on their own?
They do.
Okay. Yeah, there's no way. Large percentage.
But that's it.
No way.
And again, I'm old, so I can make these comments. There's a lot of older people who just don't want to go out at night.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Particularly in Los Angeles.
And so, but they've gone out they wanted to see the new DiCaprio film. They went out during the day, but a vampire movie. Would you push yourself to go do that?
No.
So that's the problem with this, and that's why we get these sort of odd. We go like the Green Book. I mean, I thought it was a good movie.
That's a great movie. I love that movie.
But it surprised me it won that year. I mean, so
it won Best Picture?
Yeah.
Wow, good for that. I didn't know that. I watch, if it's on, I watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
I love
and
it.
I'm not arguing that it should have been in the top 10.
Viggo Mortensen?
Yeah.
Steals the whole movie.
Driving
the whole
Miss
movie.
Daisy is another example. I mean, Crash. I don't think Crash really deserved to be, but
No.
there's a lot of
Crash won?
Yeah.
No, that was convoluted and weird.
Exactly. So that's
And
what
they
we're
made
saying.
Sandra Bullock out to be a bully.
Yeah.
And a bad person.
And-
And I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock was like the Doris Day of my era.
It was. Yeah, and she still is.
She
but
still is. Yeah.
You
can't
talk like
make
she
her.
passed, and she didn't. No, she's
No,
still here with
she's
us.
still alive. Oh, she looks
Yeah,
great. She's
yeah.
my age. And
Yeah.
I'd date her. I'll freaking give my left toe to date her.
Yeah.
She's
but-
my age. Don't see that very often.
But and I appreciate actors who want to do stuff different. But when you got that, it's like Tom Hanks playing a rapist or
Exactly.
Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
It's not good. So,
All right. So who you got then?
well, I'm going to go.
Have you ever voted?
I'm not a member of the Voting Academy.
No. Okay.
I am a member of the Critics of Choice Association, and I vote through that. And we have the same categories as the Oscars.
Okay.
So I will tell you who I voted for with
All
the
right.
CCA. And I voted for, at that time, One Battle After Another.
Yeah. I still haven't seen it. It's on HBO all the time. In fact, I have a DVR to have that and Sinners. And I keep promising you I'm going to watch them, and I haven't.
But I will tell you, since voting for that one, the more I see Sinners, the more I keep it's like, oh, if I was voting today, I think I would have voted for Sinners.
Yeah.
So those two, I mean, when you're talking about a horse race, they are neck and neck to me. And so if either one of them wins, I'm going to be very happy. But I voted for One Battle After Another, and,
Okay.
and the Critics' Choice gave it the Best Picture. As far as director,
Explain the plot.
it's an ex militant, political activist,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
right? His wife goes to jail. He raises their daughter.
His wife is,
You're asking, come on.
sorry, she's going to win the Academy Award. That's the only thing I know. The black girl? Isn't that his wife in the
Yeah,
film?
she has no chance of winning.
Have you lost? You want to bet?
I will bet you yes.
I will. I know for a fact she's winning.
For Best Actress?
For I think she's supporting, isn't she?
Well, yeah.
Starts with a T.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Wait a minute, I'm looking for it. Tiana Taylor.
You want to bet?
Yeah.
How much? Lunch?
Dinner.
Dinner.
You got
Sold. Sold. That's the easiest. Black folks' hair will be on fire if she doesn't win. There'll be riots in the streets. They'll burn down the Amundsen Theater or wherever the hell they have it now. I don't know where they have it. They'll burn it down.
Nope.
Will Smith will get up and slap somebody else if she doesn't win.
I only have 2 locks for my pick.
I only have one, and I just shook hands on it.
Yeah. And my lock in that category
I'll start with the shrimp cocktail.
is Amy Madigan.
Amy Madigan.
For
Wow. She's older than I am.
She's older, and she's won every award up till now.
Well, then you're cursed.
We'll
She's
see.
due.
We'll see.
It's like the guys on television. This guy's hit 47 straight free throws.
Exactly.
And then clank
He hasn't missed a free
since 1978.
Right.
Clank. You just cursed her.
Yeah, but no, I think Amy Madigan for Weapons is one of my 2 locks. The other one is Best Actress, and that's Jessie Buckley for Hamnet.
Okay. All right. I don't know anything about that
And
category.
Hamlet is the story of William Shakespeare,
Right.
his family, and his writing the movie Hamlet.
I've seen it, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
The night of game 6, I was at a friend's house, and she put it on after the game.
You must have really liked that friend.
I'm quite fond of her, yes.
The reason I say that is it doesn't strike me as your kind of movie.
For the first 15 minutes, I was like, just be that guy, Ralph. Just be that guy.
That's right.
And then I kind of like started to get some of the humor. The
Yeah.
humor was kind of stupid, but I started to get, but you're absolutely right. First 15 minutes, I was like, I wonder if she has a pistol.
Yeah.
You know?
That's right. Don't pay no attention to the sound of the rope being thrown
Yes,
over.
yes.
So anyway, I do think that she's going to win.
Okay. Amy
And
Madigan. Wow.
Yeah.
If you pull that off, I'm going to call you.
I'm going
You
to
might get a call at like 9:36.
I'm going to get the shrimp cocktail if you just count on that.
All right, very good.
I was going to say, I fully believe that when you give Best Picture, you should give it to the director.
To the director, I've always said that.
Yeah, and it's
always said that.
It's Paul Thomas Anderson.
Okay, so he's got no chance then.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sure.
You know,
because I'm predicting that.
Yeah, because they'll probably win Best Picture, and then they won't give him director, which is just
And they could
dumbest thing in the world.
split it and give Sinners director the award, and sort of like their way of saying, "Hey, we're honoring both." But I still feel like that those two awards should be just joined at the hip.
Okay.
You can't direct yourself.
No, exactly.
I mean, that's just the absurdity of it.
Best actor.
As we've talked about, it's Timothée Chalamet talked himself out of it. And I'm going with Robert B. Jordan.
Oh, that's right. That's Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B.
That's
Jordan,
right. That's right. Best supporting actor.
Best supporting actor. This is the hardest one of all of them.
Yeah.
I love the film Sentimental Value. It's a foreign film, so this is a critic's choice.
Right.
But Stellan Skarsgård is my pick in that category.
Who are the other four?
Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein.
Okay.
And I don't like that because he really was the star of the movie, and they put him in supporting. I hate that. Sean Penn.
Ooh.
For One Battle After Another. And that is an incredible role. It is an incredible role, but it may be too volatile to give him the award and let him get on stage and talk.
It's funny. The two scenes that I've seen from that movie, just stopping in on it, were both his scenes. One was when he was arresting the girl.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And another one when he was being interrogated.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, he may win.
I think you always have to remember the politics of the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Do we want Sean Penn at a time when politics, and especially now with what's going on, do we want him to give him that format?
Yeah.
Where he can get up there and talk.
Has he ever won?
Yeah.
For? Do you remember?
Oh, I can't. I should know, but I don't remember.
I'll look it up.
I want to say Milk, but I don't. I'm not.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Hey, Siri, Sean Penn won an Academy Award.
I found 8. Academy Award for Best Actor, BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role.
Yeah, but what did he win for? He won for include 2 Academy Awards, a Golden Globe. He has 2? Made his feature film debut in Taps. I didn't know Taps was his debut.
Yeah.
He won 2, she claims.
Yeah. I think one was actor and one was supporting.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's great in Taps. That's a great picture.
Oh, it's a tremendous picture.
With a very young
go back,
crew.
look
with
at all that
superstars.
talent.
Yeah.
In there, people's like
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I mean, and Sean Penn and Timothy Hutton was the star. George C. Scott, Ronnie Cox.
Yeah.
It's a really good film.
But anyway, also in that supporting actor category, it's Benicio del Toro.
Ooh, I like
One
him.
Battle After Another. And if I had to give a sentimental Oscar, it would go to Delroy Lindo for Sinners.
But he has no chance.
He has no chance.
This is the first time he's ever been nominated.
It's the first time. And unfortunately for him, he's going to have to go with that. It is an honor just to be nominated.
They could go woke and make this an NAACP meeting.
It could be.
You know what I mean?
It could very
Michael B. Jordan, Delroy Lindo. What's her name?
Tanya Taylor.
Tanya Taylor. Sinners. Best. I mean, they could make it an NAACP meeting. You know.
Yeah, and they have been pounded over the years for their lack of diversity.
Exactly. That's why I said that.
And that's why I do
They
feel
made a big deal. What was it? 3 years ago?
Yeah.
When there was nobody nominated, and it was pre the slap, and I don't know.
And that's why I think Michael B. Jordan will come out of the pack.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be that. Well, we gave one of our
If
top.
you can give him that, then you can. You don't have to win anything
we don't have
else.
to win anything. You know, we did our job.
Right.
You know, don't expect more of us. It already hurt us to have to do.
What else have we not touched on? Did we do Best Actress?
We did Best Actress.
Is that Amy?
Yeah.
Amy?
No, that's Jessie Buckley for.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
That is of all. If you're gonna bet the house on her.
Yeah.
I cannot. That would, if she doesn't win, that would be the most stunning upset in decades.
So we've covered them all, have we not?
We've covered all the major ones.
Yeah,
you know,
we're not going any
best
further than
film
that.
director,
Yeah.
actors, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
We could talk about best animated film.
No. I'll leave you with this. Conan O'Brien gets the call. What do you think? I've never been a big fan.
You know, did an interview. There's a story on kgttoday.com with Conan talking about doing the awards. You know, he did them last year.
Mm-hmm. And he was okay.
And I think he found that it is a thankless job hosting the Oscars.
Yeah, it is.
Because you got a room full of celebrities you don't want to completely insult, but you need to be a little critical. But you also got the world watching, and you got to be careful of that. So you're treading.
And time is always a factor.
Yeah, and last year they came in exactly 3 hours and 30 minutes, which was the first time the Oscars have come in on time.
3 hours and 30 minutes is on time. Wow.
And see, if it was me, those awards would not go longer than 2 hours.
2 hours. Yeah.
You know,
this isn't the NFL. This isn't the
much.
NBA. This isn't the NFL. You can't keep people's attention for 3.5 hours.
And speaking of hosts, Nikki Glazer will be back for the Golden Globes again
next year. Wow.
I thought that would be news that would make you have a smile through the weekend.
Yes.
Other than golf.
Yes. I just watched a long interview with her. She's got some issues.
Yeah.
She's got some deep-seated issues. Just both. And it when you hear the interview, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
When you hear the interview and you hear the problems that she had with early boyfriends and being codependent relationships, you understand her humor.
Yeah, exactly.
Because her humor is a lot about dating and this and that and this and that. And you would think she's single, but she's not. She's had a long time boyfriend.
Yeah.
But she talks about the ups and downs they've had, and it's pretty raw.
Yeah.
But it really explains, because as I've always been told, because I'm not funny, I can be funny, I can make a smart ass comment, but I can't just stand up and be funny for 20 minutes. But what I've always been told is that comedy is drama turned inside out.
Yeah.
And that most comedians are really sad people who use their comedy to express their sorrow.
The dullest interviews I've ever done are with celebrity
comedians. Yeah.
I mean, Jerry Seinfeld put me to sleep. He answered the questions. He was got everything I needed. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But there was no humor to it. The only one that wasn't was Robin Williams.
Well, yeah, because he's on 24/7.
And that was the problem. Was he was too much on.
Yeah.
It's like I get done with the interview and I go back and look at my notes and listen to my tape and go, that was so great. I got nothing I can use.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I always hated to write those stories like, well, I was with Robin and he did this joke. And it's like it's like me going, yeah, I got it. I didn't like those things. I just wanted information.
Yeah.
And so, but I've always found the comics that are really the dullest of the bunch.
Yeah. You think he's going to do a good job?
I think he'll do a competent job. I don't think
Harvard grad.
I think the thing he has to do is just not get in the way of the awards.
Yeah.
Keep it going. Keep it smooth. Make people smile. You don't have to make them belly laugh. Just make them smile.
Will there be an iconic moment? Either a political statement or an F Trump or a streaker or I don't know. Just
I'm scared the iconic moment may be one we don't want.
It'll be an anti-war comment.
I'm terrified.
There'll be several anti-war comments.
I'm terrified by because again talking to the production team, they have cranked up the security for this thing 20-fold.
I bet.
I mean, every breath is being guarded and measured and checked because they're worried. And that's what I'm scared of. I didn't even mind the slap. It gave me something great to talk about. It kind of ruined Will for a while, but
and Chris, for that matter.
Yeah, but it made good TV.
It did. It absolutely did. Always good to talk to you, sir. And I'll let you know what restaurant we're going to.
Okay. And keep those cards and letters coming in if people like us.
They absolutely do.
If you don't like us, I was never here.
Rick Bentley, everybody. Rick Bentley. Check him out on KGET. In the meantime, we head into the 4 o'clock hour. Got a bunch of things to get to. We've still got some audio from Lauren Skidmore we'll play a little bit later. We'll get into the latest on Epic Fury and get you caught up on some current events we didn't get to yesterday. The ROTC shooting on the campus of Old Dominion. All that's coming up. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. I would stick around if I you. That was outstanding. Thank you, sir.
KERN, Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM.
Yeah, she's going to win. No question. Slam dunk. Tatiana,
News this
whatever.
hour from
They
Town
love
Hall.
her.
I'm Pete
She's a
Peters
converted
in
lesbian.
Washington.
She's black.
There's new information about the
Didn't she win the
suspect in
Golden
the
Globe?
attack on a Michigan synagogue.
Officials say
Who
Ayman
did?
Mohammed Ghazali
Who won
lost
the
4
Golden Globe?
family members in an Israeli airstrike in Lebanon last week.
Did she
Michigan
really?
Governor Gretchen Whitmer spoke
Is
of
that
the
who
need
she's
to
up
tone
against?
down the rhetoric.
People like the person that attacked this community yesterday
shit.
get fomented by rhetoric that they see online and that they see on television and they hear on the radio.
Michigan Democratic Senator Alyssa Slotkin credited responders.
If they had not all done their jobs
Thank
almost
you, sir.
perfectly, we would be
All right, we'll see
talking
you next
about
week.
an immense tragedy here today with children
Exactly.
gone.
Ghazali was a U.S. citizen. I'm Ed Donahue.
There's been an Israeli
thank you, sir.
airstrike near a large gathering in Tehran.
We saw dramatic footage today out of Iran's capital as an airstrike hit near where thousands were commemorating an annual celebration marking Quds or Jerusalem Day in Tehran. Now, this airstrike came after the Israelis only a short time earlier had warned that they were going to target an area near Tehran University. That's where this Quds Day celebration was taking place.
Correspondent John Gambrell reporting. Meanwhile, the American military has ordered 2,500 Marines and an amphibious assault ship to the Middle East. That's according to a U.S. official who spoke Friday to the Associated Press. The deployment is a major addition of forces in the Middle East region after nearly 2 weeks of war with Iran. On Wall Street, another down day as the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 119 points, the Nasdaq lower by 206, with the S&P 500 declining by 40 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
A Social Security update. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits today, and millions more will join soon. Now, a new study finds 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they deserve. But recipients can use simple strategies to boost Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. Social Security expert Michael Allen says it's true and reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. It's all in his free special report. Newsmax calls the report your best guide for bigger Social Security benefits. Whether you're getting benefits or soon will, you need the Social Security report. Get it free. Call 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. We'll text it to you right away, along with President Trump's act cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Who was flying the chopper? I'm Chris Davis. The man who died in Monday's helicopter crash near the Tehachapi Pass wind farm, which is close to Mojave, was the only person on board, and it is still unclear why that chopper went down. That investigation could take weeks. What is known now, though, is the name of the pilot. He's been ID'd by the Kern County Coroner's Office as 62-year-old Stephen Madewell of New Plymouth, Idaho. The Coroner's Office says he died at the scene. They were members of the Norteño gang in Delano, say the court papers about 3 people now charged in the murder of 23-year-old Guillermo Leon, which happened February 20th, 2022 on D Street in Delano. The 3 have finally been charged and have a hearing set for later this month. The court papers also say one of the main witnesses against the men was a camera. The old Bank of America building, or Truxton Tower as it is also called, may become a home for some offices for the Bakersfield Police Department. The city council has voted to move forward with a lease on part of that building, which comes with an option to buy the whole thing, all 10 stories. During discussions at this week's meeting, the council decided to spend the $400,000 to explore a possible purchase. They expect rent from tenants would pay the monthly operating costs. You may remember that McFarland police arrested a juvenile last week who had threatened a school shooting in that city, they say. Now they've arrested another teenager, this time a 13-year-old, who they say followed up on the first threat Wednesday with a threat against the junior high there. Cops say they didn't find any guns at his house, and they believe that the threat is over with that arrest. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think? This is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You got to get up close like this. Little bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Friday the 13th. Dawson, do you suffer from triskaidekaphobia?
No.
You're not fearful of the 13th? Did you know there are no 13th floors in hotels?
I've heard that.
Which, of course, is stupid. Guess what? If you're on the 14th floor, you're on the 13th floor. But I always laugh at that whenever I'm in Vegas. There's no 13 button in a hotel in Sin City. Still got lots to do. We'll get into Epic Fury here in just a second. I just got a Fox News alert. Popular YouTuber turned professional boxer Jake Paul indicated he is planning to run for office in a recent sit-down interview with President Donald Trump. This is the guy that's married to, what's his wife's name, the skater? Look it up. She just won a gold medal and a silver medal in the Olympics. She's extremely hot. She's literally like a 13 on a scale from 1 to 10. Luda something.
Judah Leardam? Judah Leardam?
Yeah, you're butchering the last name, but what's her first name? Judah?
Judah.
Y'all know who I'm talking about. The tall blonde who Jake Paul is engaged to, who just won a couple of medals for the Netherlands in ice skating, speed skating. During an interview posted to Paul's YouTube channel Friday, Trump asked him if he would run for office. The president endorsed Paul for a potential office run during a speech at a packaging plant in Boone County, Kentucky. I think so, Paul answered. I see myself as wanting to get more into this world. I believe it's the biggest way to create impact and change in America. If and when Paul does get into politics, he will have Trump as a high-profile ally. Trump shared his own experience getting into politics as an outsider in the interview. It's hard. A lot of people talk about it. You had to do it. And I had one shot left because you get a certain age. You have a few years left. You know, the timing was good. But if I waited longer, it wouldn't have been good because of the clock. You know, the famous clock, Father Time. At a rally Wednesday, Trump gave Paul his, quote, complete and total endorsement, end quote, should the boxer choose to pursue political office. Trump delivered the initial comments, at a political rally at a logistics transportation event. This is ridiculous. Guys just feel themselves, you know. They get a little drunk with celebrity because he's been drafting his girlfriend, his fiance now is more famous than he is. And, you know, this guy, what's he best known for? Fighting Mike Tyson? A man who's damn near my age? Like, you're a joke, Jake Paul. And these YouTubers think that they can rally this into like either congressional leadership or becoming one of 100 senators or maybe even running for president. You know, you got Stephen A. Smith talking about running for president. Just because you have a large audience and you can make a lot of noise and draw a lot of attention to yourself doesn't mean that we're going to trust you in times like these when we're in conflict with a different country or when you've got to make foreign policy decisions. Or you got to make budget decisions. Now, granted, recent leadership with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and some of the clowns that we've had in the White House, particularly now in this clown cabinet that Donald Trump has assembled, some of these guys don't look so bad. I mean, when you've got Kash Patel running the FBI, when you've got a Fox and Friends insider weekend anchor running the State Department and presumably running this war, and you've got Christy I Need Attention Nome running. She's now a casualty of this clown cabinet. But I guess guys like Jake Paul are viable when you bring in unqualified, incompetent people like the aforementioned Patel and Hegseth and Noam and Pam Bondi, who I understand is on her way out. There's talk around the campfire that Janine Pirro, Kathy's good friend, could be the next attorney general. That's what both CNN and Fox was reporting this morning in mere speculation. But Trump is upset. There was a ruling that went against him today in terms of the prosecution as they tried to go after Jerome Powell. And a judge threw it out, absolutely threw it out for lack of evidence. And now, as I've talked about, and I warned you all, these guys are like 0 for 8 in prosecution attempts, and the Republican Party is 0 for 6, or no, 0 for 10 now, 0 for 10 in special elections and primaries since last January when the president was sworn in. 0 for 10 and 0 for 8 in prosecution attempts. I told you, did I not? When they went after Letitia James. I'm not a fan of Letitia James, but you don't have to be a fan of somebody to be able to predict that the opposite side has no evidence against this woman. And they didn't, and they lost. I told you James Comey was going to get a pass. Not a fan of James Comey, but the facts are the facts. They struck out there. They've struck out every single time they tried to prosecute somebody because it's bogus nonsense, much like our very own top prosecutor here in town. The bogus nonsense they're trying to peddle, besmirching Lauren Skidmore and the Open Door Network. It's amazing what powerful people are willing to do. It really is. And I guess it's almost human nature because you just kind of get drunk with power and you start really believing your press clippings. You start believing that you can do anything. You can do absolutely anything. Hell, I'm the top cop of Kern County. Can't anybody touch me? Not until 28. Well, that may not be so, but the biggest information about Epic Fury, as I try to get back on the freeway here, that this was, as declared, of course, by your Fox and Friends head of the State Department, Pete Hegseth, this was going to be the strongest day, and apparently B-2 bombers were seen attacking Iran today. But this huge news was a poll that I found on CNN, and that is that since March 1st, and in less than 10, in a 10-day span, support for Epic Fury has gone up a skosh, but up is up, as we say in the radio business when looking at ratings. Up is up. It's gone from 39% to 42%. Up is up. But the big statistic is opposition to Epic Fury, opposition to us finally settling the situation with Iran after 46 years of CIA chief in Beirut getting kidnapped and killed, the Marines who were killed by a truck bomb. I could go on and on and on. I chronicled much of it yesterday, and we're finally dealing with it after 46 years. Well, opposition has dropped from 52% 10 days ago to 40%. That's significant. 12% have changed their minds on opposing this. The real big answer is 17% are unsure. That's gone from 9 10 days ago to 17. And that's really where most of us should be. We should be as if we don't know, and let's let it play out. I think that's where most Americans should be. Or in absolute full-throated support. Why? Because men and women from this country are in harm's way. And as I've talked about several times, this new nuanced answer, I support the troops, but I don't support the conflict, makes absolutely no sense. It's an oxymoron. It's moronic. Don't make no sense. If you support the troops, you support the conflict. And I think more than anything that I've ever seen in my life, I've never seen liberals and media members seemingly rooting for the Iranians. Now, I know they're not rooting for the Iranians, but there is absolutely no doubt in my mind, absolutely none, that they are rooting for the failure of this mission so that leads to the failure of Donald Trump, which would then lead to the failure of the Republican Party in the midterms and in the 28 election. There's absolutely no question in my mind. The idea that the Los Angeles Times lead story was the number of injured veterans in this war yesterday is proof of that. Was that really the top story, that 104 people have been injured? Or could they have spun it a different way? That 16 minesweeping vessels have been destroyed, that the United States owns Iranian airspace, that ballistic missiles are down 90%, the drone attacks are down 85%. The sticking point continues to be, quite obviously, the Strait of Hormuz. And the fact that it's down to about 20% of the ships getting through, and the majority of those ships are Chinese vessels and other independent vessels. The White House now is talking about escorting vessels through, because securing the Strait of Hormuz, from what I'm told, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm parroting what pundits are saying, but dominating the Strait of Hormuz would take weeks and months. But escorting ships through with destroyers and other ships is viable, but then that's tantamount to boots on the ground, because you're putting American sailors directly in harm's way, directly in the direction of drones that these guys can continue to produce, even as beleaguered as they are. And that's when the body count rises, and that's when the clock starts to speed up on Epic Fury. Because remember, as I keep saying, time is not on the president's side. It's not on the side of this administration. As gas prices continue to go up, I now think it's like a 66-cent jump. We had a fuel tanker, an aircraft go down. And so the death toll has gone up. There's 6 crew members who were killed in that. And you can bet that's going to be the highlight of the news tonight. Many other publications, they'll highlight the negativity of this thing simply because it's Donald Trump's mission. If Barack Obama was heading this thing, the spin from the national media would be entirely different. But it is what it is. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll take a look for the first time on the day, what you all are talking about. Our phone number is 842-5376, 842-KERN. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, get you updated on the ROTC shooting on the campus of Old Dominion in beautiful Commonwealth of Virginia. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, day 2 of the Players' Championship in the books. And Nick Ragone is starting to look like more of the genius that he already has self-dubbed, and I have deemed him a genius as well. 3 of the guys that he's picked are in the top 5, and 1 is leading the leaderboard. We'll get into that. Give you my defense on Bam Adebayo, and the Eagles of Bakersfield Christian are probably on the 99 as we speak, headed up to Sacramento, trying to take control of the state championship for the first time in BCHS history, at least in basketball. You were about to yell at your radio. They've won a state championship. We have football, but never in basketball. They're going for it. And they're taking on San Joaquin, a team they've beaten twice already. And normally I'd be wary. You know that whole thing, it's tough to beat a team 3 times. Yeah, that's in football. That's not in baseball. That's not in basketball. Teams get swept all the time in baseball, 3 straight. And in basketball, if you're better than the other team, you're bigger, faster, it don't matter how many times you play. If they're the better team, they're the better team. So I would make our local Eagles, an alma mater of Derek Carr, a heavy favorite to bring back a state championship. Quick time out. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Friday the 13th, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
$500,000 for a building that is burned down 23 times in the last year, and it only makes me ask, why the hell haven't we just let this thing burn down to the ground already? And then the internet is great as it is. The comment says, I hope the person that reports this fire didn't call 911.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Attention, Medicare beneficiaries in Kern County. If you're eligible for Medicare and looking for a doctor who listens and cares about you with minimal wait times and prompt referral authorizations, it's time you learned about QualCare IPA. You know, for years, I've been telling you QualCare IPA contracts with most Medicare Advantage health plans and provides you with access to a large network of outstanding doctors and quality hospitals right here in Kern County. Medicare Advantage health plans go beyond original Medicare benefits coverage, and understanding these coverage differences may be confusing. Call us today at 661-554-4544 and let us help you understand your options for 2026. Call today, 661-554-4544. That's 661-554-4544. Get the information you need and the coverage you deserve. For accommodations of persons with special needs and meetings, call 661-554-4544. TTY 711.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We all start as tiny seeds, needing care, love, and a little sunlight. Then boom, we sprout, stretch, and grow through the world of childhood and teen years. Before you know it, we're blooming, working, parenting, thriving. And yes, even golden petals can shine bright. Join Kern County Public Health and thrive like a poppy. Visit KernPublicHealth.com to learn more.
Trucordia, a new name, but a trusted partner for Kern County businesses. At Trucordia, we provide business solutions that include comprehensive commercial insurance and proactive risk strategies to help protect your company and keep operations running smoothly. We also offer benefit solutions with flexible options for both businesses and individuals, supported by easy online tools and hands-on local service that makes everything simpler. For guidance you can count on, call Don Coons at 661-401-2280. Trucordia, building trust.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Eight one two 537 6842 KERN. So I got good news and I got good news. And I guess for some, bad news. But for us, it's good news and good news. The good news is, as you talked about yesterday, Mr. Turnipseed has a team, and I'll be playing with him a week from tomorrow, as a matter of fact, as we get prepared for the tournament a week from this Monday at BCC, Bakersfield Country Club, 4th annual Honor Flight Open. And we were going to audition off the 2 other spots. However, James Galindo, the general manager at 23 ABC, and a guy that I've known for about 24, 25 years. I met him when I was the news director at Clear Channel Radio. He was I think it was his first sales gig. And very charismatic, pretty boy who used his charisma and his good looks as a youngster. He's now a middle-aged married man with children. And he contacted me, said, are you still auctioning off the 2 spots with you and Turnipseed? And I said, we certainly are. And he said, well, I want to bid. I said, feel free. He said, I bid $1,000. And without blinking, I said, sold. Because I don't think any of y'all were going to bid over $1,000. And I said, that's very nice of you, James, because that almost pays for one soldier, one veteran, to go back to Washington. And he said, how much is it for one veteran? I said, it's $1,500. He said, done. So he is donating $1,500 to Honor Flight to play with Mr. Turnipseed. And I want to thank James and everybody at ABC 23. My first television job back in 1995, 96, when James was probably 10 years old or something. But I want to thank James for doing that. That was outstanding. And like I said, we're sold out. We are absolutely sold out. We have the maximum amount of teams that Bakersfield Country Club will allow. As I warned, that if you waited like a week before the tournament, you probably wouldn't get in, and I was dead on right. But we're going to have a great time. We've got some games that we're playing. We've got some people out there that are going to be doing something. You're going to meet the entire staff. It's all hands on deck for everybody here at American General Media. And I'm just excited. I've never played in this thing. Do you know Chris tried to tell me that I played in it? But you know what? I thought about that last night when I was driving home. I was like, did that boy actually try to tell me about my life? As if I wouldn't remember playing in my own golf tournament that I created, that I begged management to do for years. But we had a cork in management who is no longer with us, who would say no.
You have played.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Oh, please don't say I played this thing.
I thought the same thing, Mr. Bailey, and I fought it until I talked to Mr. Salters the other day. You, me, Salters, Roberto. Year 1. Thank you. Good night.
No, I didn't. God dog it. That's the one where I made the putt. I did play. That's the one. I've got the video of me making the putt, where there were some guys on the other green, and they were like, is that Ralph Bailey? I can play it for you. And I'm like, put some money down. And I sank the putt. It was with his son, wasn't it? Yeah. Damn.
I thought the same thing. Don't feel bad.
Damn. Dawson, you got to keep your mouth shut. Don't tell Chris, JR. Dawson, you got to keep your mouth shut. We can't let that kid know he's right. Damn. I was about to go off on how this kid was going to tell me about my life. And then I was about to say, but you know, between the 6'3" and the THC, kid probably knows more about my life than I do. And lo and behold, I was right. I guess I vaguely remember that. That's horrible. But again, thanks to James Galindo and everybody at ABC 23 and to Mr. Michael Turnipseed, who wrote the check for the team. And again, thank you all for supporting Honor Flight. All this money will go to send veterans back to Washington. And from what I understand, they're going twice in October because of the Persian Gulf Memorial. I'll find out facts later. Head into the back half of the hour. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The American military has ordered 2,500 Marines and an amphibious assault ship to the Middle East. That's according to a U.S. official who spoke Friday to the Associated Press. The deployment is a major addition of forces in the region after nearly 2 weeks of war with Iran. The U.S. is temporarily easing parts of its sanctions measures on Russian oil, a reflection of global worries about sharply higher oil prices due to the Iran war. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the U.S. will lift sanctions for 30 days on Russian oil that's already aboard tankers. That means customers in other countries can buy it without worrying about sanctions punishment. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 119 points. The Nasdaq dropped 206. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Chris Davis. A second school threat in McFarland. This time, police have arrested a 13-year-old they say was making threats against the junior high that were for Thursday. But they searched the house and found no weapons and took the kid to juvenile hall, and they believe that the threat is over. The person who was killed in the Monday helicopter crash near Mojave was the pilot, says the Kern County Coroner's Office, and they've ID'd him as 62-year-old Stephen Madewell of New Plymouth, Idaho. They say he died at the scene. The average price for gas in California has reached $5.37, says Gas Buddy. The only other state that comes anywhere near that is Washington with $4.73. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima.
No,
Their
that was the current
tax attorneys and
tournament.
licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust. Call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit
OptimaTaxRelief.com. Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, we'll have the latest in gas price technology. That's always good news. The latest in our half a cat fight between the DA's office and the Open Door Network. We got America's Job Center, a current. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1, and we're streaming live on a World Wide Web at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
All right, so I'm not losing my mind. I had to call Salty during my walk. I've never played in our tournament. JR is alluding to the Kern Tax tournament in which Salty, his son, JR, and I played in, and I made a long putt for a bet that Salty took pictures of, took video of, and I've got the video right here. It's really good. It was about a 15-footer left to right. And there were guys on the next green who said, "Is that Ralph Bailey?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, because I was like, "There's no way I miss this. No way I miss this." 15-footer going left to right. And these guys, I could play the audio, but I don't want to bore you with that. And they're like, "We'll bet you. We'll bet you." And I'm like, "All right, come on." And I knocked it in. It was not our tournament. I've never played in our tournament. All 3 years, I've been on hole number 3, which is my favorite hole. I have a club that just fits that hole, and in just my eye, there's certain holes, as golfers will tell you, that you play well almost every time. That and 12, the par 4 12 that runs along the creek at BCC. I hit that green almost every single time. I hit a little driver, and I've got about $150 left. I hit a little knockdown 6-iron, and I hit that green almost every single time I play. And I can normally 2-putt to make par. And I had a birdie putt there a couple of weeks ago and missed that. A little 5-foot birdie putt. I had a birdie putt like this and missed it. I was so angry. But I've never, ever played. I thought I was losing my mind that I couldn't remember 3 years ago. I thought I've never, ever, ever, ever played in our golf tournament. Nope. 842-5376, 842-KERN. What do you got on the board?
Ralph, that Lebanese terrorist that attacked the synagogue in Michigan had 2 brothers and their children killed by Israeli air bombings, and his mother and father are in the hospital. Ralph, this war is already here in our homeland, and it's only a week old.
Well, lone wolf people connected to ISIS and foreign countries. What are you going to do about that? That has to fall on the FBI. That has to fall on preventative measures. I think the FBI is led by an incompetent director in Kash Patel. The DHS currently isn't being funded. And technically, we don't have even a head of the DHS because Kristi Noem was such an incredible, ridiculous disaster that she was forced out. And, you know, only Kristi Noem could frame a firing in which she did, where she was on her way to Nashville. She got the word. She was about to address a group of police officers, and she didn't mention it. And then she released a statement thanking the president for her promotion to Security of America, whatever the Sam Hill organization or group or position they created for her, to give her an incredibly soft landing after just a ridiculous stay as DHS secretary. I mean, you can't even point to one reason why she was fired. That's how incompetent she was. You can pick any one of 5 or 6. You can pick either the affair she was having with her subordinate, Corey Lewandowski. You can attribute it to the lavish planes that she was using. She was using 3 different federal planes in which there was a bedroom, and that's where Corey and she was conducting, according to sources, their 35,000 foot in the air affair. I mean, you should see these planes that were supposedly being used to export and deport criminals. And her rationale was, after she was finally brought before House and Senate panels, and they showed pictures of this plane that looks nicer than most homes, with this lavish bedroom and this incredible space and the bar and but a boop. And do you know what this incompetent woman went before the Senate and the House and said? We're going to convert those into deportation planes. And I hate to have to quote a Democrat, but I think it was Jamie Raskin who said, that's like turning a Rolls Royce into like a carrier van. That's like taking out the seats and throwing in everybody into a Rolls Royce and using it to deport people. Have you gone crazy? That's the best story that you can come up with? We're going to divert them into deportation planes? So that's why, where are we? 2, 3 on the excuses we could have used to fire her? Then, of course, there was the straw that broke the camel's back, and that's when John Kennedy out of Louisiana, no relations to the Kennedys in Massachusetts, got her to lie in front of a House panel, which she's done on many occasions, by the way, and say that the president knew about this $220 million ad campaign that shows her looking as fine as she is, because she's a good-looking woman, with a cowboy hat and jeans and riding a horse in front of George and Teddy and Franklin and, oh, Lord. Wait a second. Franklin, Teddy, George, and TJ? Jefferson? Okay. Whew! Whew! That was close. That would have been humiliating. And just to give you some kind of relativity, Barbie, did you see Barbie? Pretty big, production, a lot of money. She spent more money on her ad campaign than the guys down in Hollywood spent on Barbie. A major production that included the salaries of Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. And yet the Secretary of DHS spent more money on an ad campaign in which you see Donald Trump for about 15 seconds. And then went before a House panel and lied about the president knowing it until John Kennedy exposed her, and that was the final straw. But there were a number of reasons why she could have been whacked. But it is a clown show of a cabinet. And to answer your question finally, as I ramble a little bit on a Friday, lone wolves are lone wolves. And I don't think you can attribute this to the war. And even if you do, there's always blowback from any conflict. But what I want to see from you all who are detractors is make your argument, show some temerity and call the show, or at least write down your arguments against eradicating the threat that is Iran. Explain that to me. Walk it to me like I'm a sixth grader. Explain to me how the world will not be better if, in fact, we eradicate their navy, their ballistic missiles, their nuclear infrastructure, their ability essentially to be a deadly pain in the ass in the Middle East for damn near 50 years. Explain to me how the world's not a better place if, in fact, we win this. Because you can't say that. Because if you say that, if you're willing to concede that if Trump's gamble pays off and we're able to pull this off, that the world, not America, not North America, not the Western Hemisphere, the globe is a better place to live. And that's why you can't say that, because you know that's true, and that would give love to Donald Trump. We would win the midterms, and either Marco Rubio or J.D. Vance would be president in 29, inaugurated that January. That's why you can't say that. And it's just the first time in recent history, or at least in my lifetime, that I've seen actual Americans rooting against an American mission. I've seen people, obviously, who are against Vietnam, who are against Iraq, who are against Afghanistan, who are against many of our military, but I've never seen Americans actually want the mission to fail. Most times, liberal Democrats will at least wait until the aftermath and use that to run on. But now Democrats are taking the dice and throwing them on the ground and hoping it comes up craps, at least for Donald Trump. And they're going to run on that in the midterms. They think they finally found an issue they can run on. And that is he's going to kill your boys and girls. As opposed to, we are going to finally end this nuclear threat and this ballistic missile weaponry that surrounds their nuclear infrastructure. And we're going to make the Middle East safe finally after 46 years. That's the argument I want to hear. Explain to me how that's a bad thing. And I think the polls show it. I told you at the top of the show. Support hasn't increased greatly. Oh, it's only up 3%, but it's up. But the big point, I believe, is the fact that opposition has dropped from 52%, a majority, to now 40%. 12% of those that are questioned. Was that JR? JR! Salty confirmed. That was the current tax tournament. It was the current tax tournament. I have never played in the Honor Flight Open.
So
never.
Me and Randy were looking at pictures because we needed proof and evidence.
Proof? And I'm on the hole 3.
Well, we didn't see you on hole 3, but we didn't see you on pictures of our team.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
So,
tell you. Woo!
There's been a development.
Woo! I was gonna check myself in. I swear. Senior living. I was ready. I was ready for senior living.
Well,
if I couldn't remember 2 years ago, I was gonna check myself into senior living. But I have never played in the Honor Flight Open. Is that not confirmed, Brandizzle? We got guests today.
I had to go back.
We got that open.
Is this live?
Yeah.
I had to go back in my camera to pictures to see who I played with, dude.
Seriously, remember?
I'm like, Jared, I played with you all the time. He's all, oh, I played with Ralph. I said, oh, let me go through the pictures.
Nope.
So last year we played with Sam.
Right.
And then
you guys almost won. Or you did won, but we had to DQ you because you work here.
I don't think that we were that good.
No? Sam didn't carry you guys?
No.
Our boss's son is,
that was
like a college player.
It was Hook Sam that day.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that.
Freeway Sam, if you're listening.
178 Sammy.
And the year before, we played with our general manager when it was his first year here. We played with Billy and then somebody else. And then the year before that, me and JR
first year
played with our relatives.
Yeah, his uncle
and my father-in-law.
Yeah.
And you've always been on the whole
three.
Yeah. So you're out there this year, right?
I know I'm playing. I'm playing
Let's
with Turtle
go.
Seed and
Let's
James
go.
Galindo and a guy named Eric Mendoza.
How low are you going?
Oh, I'm cheating. I'm cheating. I can tell you right now where we're going to shoot. We'll be 4 under. I have the pencil, so I can tell you right now. We'll be 4 under.
The winning score is going to be a little bit lower.
Exactly. I'm not trying to win it, but I'm not
respectable.
I'm not turning in a +6 card. That's not happening. That's not happening. And the final group, Bailey, Mendoza, Galinda, and Turnip Seed +6. No, that's not happening.
Hey, you get your money back, guys. Great job.
Right now, we will be 4 under. I can guarantee it. If we have to make a 1 on 18,
and pay for it.
That's right. That's right.
I'm buying my mulligans right now. Let's go.
We're excited. It's sold out.
It's
going to be a lot of fun.
Weather's going to be fantastic
Perfect.
this year. Oh, it's great.
We got a heat wave coming in, and then it subsides the weekend right before the tournament.
Yep.
And then we're going to be in the high 70s, low 80s.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Can't
It's
wait.
be perfect. Yeah.
Come on out. Come on out.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and take a break, and we come back. I've got some more audio to play before we get out of here. I've got to defend Bam Adebayo. You hear about this, Dizzle?
Oh, yeah.
They're killing him. And I had the same feelings. Wilt, Kobe, Bam, but they're killing this guy.
It was the first quarter. He scored 31, so he's like, dude.
And he was 46 at the half.
I'm going for it.
Exactly. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
And like Colin Coward has pointed out, they fed Wilt.
Yeah.
They fed Kobe.
And Kobe got love, too.
Kobe, they were up by 17 with 4 minutes to play with an older Kobe. Yeah. And they left him in, and they fed him. And that's all they did. That's all they did. Come on. They're killing this poor guy.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad.
Great time out. Coming right back. It's TRBS on a Friday, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Yeah, man, I was like, damn.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Exactly. And I fought it every year.
Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
So I'm not defending this woman. Yes, her attitude probably stinks because, well, she's from Bakersfield.
And then I made a ton of money.
She's got to put up with some people calling 911 because, well, she's from Bakersfield. Which leads me to my other question. Who in the hell still calls 911 in this community? Expecting somebody's going to actually show up to your 911 call.
And gave me $100 on it.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Bring your visions to life with smart business buying tools and technology from Amazon Business. From fast, free shipping to in-depth buying insights and automated purchase approvals, we deliver everything you need to achieve your goals. Go to AmazonBusiness.com for support.
Even if you've given up on your New Year's resolutions, one health habit that's easy to keep is Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon, in stores at CVS, Walgreens, and now GNC.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/groundadvantage to learn more.
Yeah, I guess.
Are you looking for a hospital that truly cares for your health and well-being? At Good Samaritan Hospital, they provide high-quality medical detox, psychiatric services, and medical and surgical care. They accept most insurances, including Medi-Cal, Medicare, and Kern Family. They offer Kern County's longest-standing inpatient detox program with dual diagnosis that combines medical care and withdrawal management all under one roof. Learn more at GoodSamaritanHospital.com or call 661-215-7500. Good Samaritan Hospital. They care for their community.
Trucordia, a new name, but a trusted partner for Kern County businesses. At Trucordia, we provide business solutions that include comprehensive commercial insurance and proactive risk strategies to help protect your company and keep operations running smoothly. We also offer benefit solutions with flexible options for both businesses and individuals, supported by easy online tools and hands-on local service that makes everything simpler. For guidance you can count on, call Don Coons at 661-401-2280. Trucordia, building trust.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Stevie! What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on, everybody say it. Woman. What's wrong with you? Need you. I don't know. Put it on, woman. It's the only words I know. I barely know those. I don't really say them. Put it on. Oh. 84253 fall deeply in love. Those are the other words I know. Yeah. 842-537-6842-KERN. What else you got on board? On this weird Friday.
So now we're okay with being the world's police force. Yes, of course, wiping Iran off the face of the earth would make everyone safer. But how is us doing that America first? And why is it our job to do it?
You're kidding, right? Are you joking or are you in elementary school? It's one of the two. Let me give you a little history. We've been the world's policemen since about, let me be kind. I won't go too far, but we've been the world's policemen of democracy since 1917. Now, since you're either in elementary school or you have no fundamental understanding of American history, I'll have to remind you that the year 1917 was the beginning, for us, World War I. And then there was another conflict, if my memory serves, called World War II, in which a war was going on in Europe. It's been in all the papers. We weren't involved. In fact, there was a great debate up until December of 1941 that we should not get involved, that this was Europe's war. Let them deal with Hitler. And then, because I know you don't know this based on your question, there was a December morning in 1941 where the Japanese actually attacked Hawaii. Now, granted, it wasn't a state, but it was a territory of the United States. So therefore, that initiated our entrance into World War II, in which, had we not entered, you would be goose-stepping as we speak. So to come on a radio show as an elementary school person, I'll give you a pass. But if you're a grown-ass adult wondering when we became the world's policemen of freedom and democracy, I don't mean to make fun of you, but good googly moogly, man or lady. I don't know what to say. We have long been, and most likely forever will be, democracy's cop. Is it right? No. Is it fair? No. Hell, Donald Trump had to play badass with NATO just to get the Western European countries to kick in 30% to say, oh, wait, no, not 30%, 20%. No, wait, not 20%, 5%. Trump had to play badass just to get the Western European countries to kick in 5% of their budget to protect them, to protect Western Europe. And guess where all the other money comes from? The world's cop, the Netherlands. The United States of America. So for you to come on a radio show and say, why do we have to be the world's cop? When did we become the world's cop? Is about as dumb a question that has ever been posed on this radio broadcast. So let me get serious. We are the world's cop. It ain't right, it ain't fair, but it is what a TI is. And if it's not for us, then who? As Robert Kennedy said, if not now, when? And if not us, then who? Who? Who's going to take out the Iranians? Who's going to end this nuclear threat in the Middle East? Who? That is about as dumb a question I have ever heard in my life. What else you got?
I'm kind of afraid to ask another one. Ralph, Donald Trump can give a rat's ass about how safe the world is. He wants their resources just like he wants Venezuela's resources in his demented mind. He's like Lex Luthor.
And why does he want the resources? You think in 2027 he wants to run off with Iranian Venezuelan oil? Is that what you're saying? Trump gas? Is that what you're saying? He's going to open up gas stations when he leaves the White House? Is that really what you're trying to put forward here? That the president has a personal interest in getting the oil from Iran and Venezuela, but not an American interest? These people have been keeping the world hostage with the Strait of Hormuz forever. And we have an opportunity to break that logjam. And I'm willing to support this man, as critical as I am of him, as most of you know, but I'm willing to support this operation. I'm willing to support this president. If there is an opportunity to end the nuclear threat in the Middle East and to open up the Strait of Hormuz, and to end them keeping us hostage and attacking our soldiers, supporting terrorism. How long do you all expect this to go on? Do you want to wait until Iran becomes North Korea, where they build up a ballistic missile shield where we cannot stop their nuclear infrastructure? And what happens if we do go to sleep and they create a nuclear weapon? Because as they said, they have enough uranium, they told the White House, to make 11 bombs. What happens then? Then there's no more mowing of the lawn. Then they become one of the deadliest forces on the planet. And I don't understand how that's not in the minds of some liberals, because just like Barack Obama is in Donald Trump's head, Donald Trump is making biscuits and gravy in all y'all's head. He's in y'all's kitchen making waffles and flapjacks and scrambled eggs and bacon that you can't even see straight, that you can't even support our troops. You can't even support a military operation that could end the Iranians. They've talked about, when we come back in the 5 o'clock hour, let me read to you what the new Ayatollah, who, by the way, still has not been seen since he lost his father, his mother, his wife, and his son. He still hasn't been seen. He's put out statements that I'll read to you as we get into the 5 o'clock hour, but he still hasn't been seen. And there's only one reason for that. He's badly injured. And perhaps if we send a message, we'll just keep knocking you guys off. You want to step up, be the Ayatollah? Go right ahead. you not only take on the tremendous responsibility of leading a country that's larger than Texas, but you also have a gigantic U.S. target on your back. And let's see if we can get at least some, we're never going to regime change, but we can alter their behavior. Quick time out, head into the final hour of the week. It's TRBS, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180, KERN.
This is AM 1180 KERN. Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM. Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. There are charges for the man who sold the gun to the Old Dominion University shooter.
The Justice Department has charged Kenya Chapman, who they say sold a gun to Old Dominion University shooter Mohammed Jallow, despite Jallou's previous conviction in a terrorism case, where Jallow was accused of attempting to aid the Islamic State extremist group. Chapman told agents that he stole the gun from a car in Newport News, Virginia, about a year ago, and recently sold it to Jallow, who said he needed it for protection as a delivery driver. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
In the aftermath of two terror attacks on American soil Thursday, one at a synagogue in Michigan and the other at Old Dominion University in Virginia, Americans need to be prepared to fight Islamic radicalism both at home and abroad. That's the view of Pennsylvania Congressman Scott Perry, who tells the Salem News program this week on Capitol Hill with Tony Perkins that the battles being fought with Iran will now impact us here in the United States.
Of course, we've got concerns in our own country of these people that have been brought here, who have come here, who are now being actualized to attack America, and we're going to have to deal with them on a one-by-one basis. The American people need to understand that this Islamist extremism that is rooted in Iran and other places around the Middle East is not going to quit. It is their goal. It is their mission to take over the entire world. And unfortunately, we're going to have to stand strong and remain committed for the long haul, or we're going to lose our way of life.
Congressman Perry serves on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. His entire interview will be broadcast when This Week on Capitol Hill airs starting at 10 a.m. Saturday on the Salem News Channel. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 119 points. The NASDAQ dropped 206. More on these stories at townhall.com.
A Social Security update. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits today, and millions more will join soon. Now, a new study finds 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they deserve. But recipients can use simple strategies to boost Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. Social Security expert Michael Allen says it's true and reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. It's all in his free special report. Newsmax calls the report your best guide for bigger Social Security benefits. Whether you're getting benefits or soon will, you need the Social Security report. Get it free. Call 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. We'll text it to you right away, along with President Trump's act cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply.
From the KERN newsroom,
I'm gonna play
your
with
live and
that
local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Who was flying the chopper? I'm Chris Davis. The man who died in Monday's helicopter crash near the Tehachapi Pass wind farm, which is close to Mojave, was the only person on board, and it is still unclear why that chopper went down. That investigation could take weeks. What is known, though, is the name of the pilot. He's been ID'd by the Kern County Coroner's Office as 62-year-old Stephen Madewell of New Plymouth, Idaho. The Coroner's Office says he died at the scene. They were members of the Norteño gang in Delano, say the court papers about 3 people now charged in the murder of 23-year-old Guillermo Leon, which happened February 20th, 2022 on D Street in Delano. The 3 have finally been charged and have a hearing set for later this month. The court papers also say one of the main witnesses against the men was a camera. The old Bank of America building, or Truxton Tower as it is also called, may become a home for some offices for the Bakersfield Police Department. The city council has voted to move forward with a lease on part of that building, which comes with an option to buy the whole thing, all 10 stories. During discussions at this week's meeting, the council decided to spend the $400,000 to explore a possible purchase. They expect rent from tenants would pay the monthly operating costs. You may remember that McFarland police arrested a juvenile last week who had threatened a school shooting in that city, they say. Now they've arrested another teenager, this time a 13-year-old, who they say followed up on the first threat Wednesday with a threat against the junior high there. Cops say they didn't find any guns at his house, and they believe that the threat is over with that arrest. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think? This is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You got to get up close like this. Little bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the week, final hour of the broadcast. Headed into a warm weekend where I hope to get in at least 18 holes of golf. I'm going to get out to Sundale and play with the fellas. And then on Saturday, I'm playing with a week from this Saturday, playing with Mr. Turnipseed, as I will be in the 4th annual Honor Flight Open, thanks to the general manager at ABC 23, James Galindo. He outbid you all. And I think we're correctly assuming that none of you would have bid over $1,500. Mr. Galindo, the general manager there at 23, has offered to sponsor one veteran back to DC. So he wins. We're going to bid it out, but none of y'all are going to pay $1,500 to watch me put a 3-wood in the water. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be playing with Eric Mendoza, one of the sales executives, and James Galindo and Mr. Termseed and I. And we're going to finish at 4 under par. Oh, we're going to cheat. We're going to cheat. Because that's respectful enough, but nowhere near the leaderboard. But I'm not turning in a +6 card, which, for the 4 of us, I don't know, Galindo, I don't know how good a player Galindo is, but I'm assuming as a general manager, he had a lot of time. TV general managers work hard. They're very, very busy. As Derek Jeffrey would tell you, as Mr. Galindo would tell you, who was a mentee of Derek Jeffrey, they work very hard. They don't have a lot of time. They're not on the golf course 3 or 4 times a week. And there's only one way. That's the difficult part of playing golf. One of the reasons that I can't improve anymore is it's not just my age that's the difference between the way I played 10, 15, 20 years ago. It's the time. I was playing 20 years ago, I was playing 2-3 times a week. I had a morning show I did mornings at Buckley for 3 years. Then I went to Clear Channel and did mornings for 3 years. So for 6 years, I was loose at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I was playing golf 3 or 4 times a week. And I could roll out of bed and shoot 85. Now I shoot 85. You'll see me running down 178 naked. You kidding me? 85. I'm like, yeah, boy. And I used to be able to fall out of bed. All right, we've got a complaint. Should have seen Dawson. Dawson printed it out and came in here white as a sheep and damn near shaking. Ralph, we have a complaint. And I felt like saying, Dawson, do you know in 22 years what number complaint that would be? That would be 395,716. But it's inaccurate, and I'm good for the crime and guilty of the complaint. A grandmother writes, Ralph, at the end of yesterday's show, watching you on YouTube, my granddaughter and I, they always use the grandchildren. You know what I'm saying? It's not enough these are children. They got to look the grandchild and I. My granddaughter and I got to hear your colorful choice of words. She doesn't pay attention to your show as a 3-year-old, but she sure caught your F-bombs and use of the GD. Should I just stick to listening when I'm in my car to not risk hearing the naughty words. Conservative asking. P.S. I do enjoy your show, even when I don't agree with you. No, you're right. I plead guilty. I have we've only been doing the YouTube thing for about, 3-4 months. And I have this mobile mic on myself. And during the breaks, I want to forget that I am mic'd up. And so I go in and talk to Raina, and I have a filthy mouth. I'm sorry. It's maybe a character flaw, but I think vulgar words in right settings are important. I don't think they're important on the political stump, which is now common. I don't think it's appropriate on the radio. And although we do talk about sex and adult issues, and I've always said this is an adult show, and if you're picking up your kids at 3 o'clock and they happen to be in the car, lo siento mucho, mi amigo. You know what I'm saying? It's an adult show. But yeah, I can refrain from when I go down the hall. And she's ruining it for all of you that like to eavesdrop on our conversations, because I'm from now on during the breaks, I'm just going to turn over here and just and now you can hear me. So that's what I'll do during the breaks. I was mouth reading, lip reading, or what do you call that? Lip syncing or whatever I was doing. I wasn't really talking, but I will respect that and turn that off. 842-5376, 842-KERN. Getting back, resetting our top story of the day. We sat down yesterday at 3:30. You can go back and you've got to look up 4/12/26 if you'd like to see the entire interview we did with Lauren Skidmore, the executive director of the Open Door Network, yesterday. For whatever reason, throughout the entire month of March, I've been putting 4 as the month, and we all know it's 3. So if you want to go back, go to look for 4/12. Again, I think I was wearing an Honor Flight shirt yesterday with the Honor Flight pin on the collar. So look for that. Just go to YouTube, punch in my name, look for the black shirt with the pin on the collar, or 4/12/26. And again, as I taught at the top of the show, you don't have to watch the entire 3-hour broadcast. When it pops up and you see me, there should be a red button that you can drag to the last hour of the broadcast and listen to us talk to Lauren, who has been the ridicule of the district attorney's office in what I believe is an absolute bitter, small, immature revenge tour that Cynthia Zimmer has put her flunkies, Mr. Kinzinger and Mr. Russell, I believe his name is. Please stand by. Because if I'm going to talk smack about you, I want to at least get your name right. Oh, don't tell me I left the letter at home. I did. I left the letter sitting on my bed. I sure did. God dang it. I believe his name is Ken Russell, and I believe the other gentleman is Kinzinger, the ones that responded. And suddenly, after saying that they had simply found a provider that can provide better services than an open door network, which is absolutely disingenuous, unless they're going outside the county, which I think they're still scrambling to find. I think this whole thing has been manufactured, where they've now come up. If you watch the 17 story, Connor Dorr, they've gone out and said some really evil things about this young woman, such as, this is from Joseph Kinzel. Kinzel is the gentleman's name. And remember that, in case he ever wants to run for DA, or the other cat, Ken Russell, because Zimmer has to know her political career is over. Although I doubt she does. As I talked about yesterday, you really think anybody gives her pushback in the circles that she hangs out with? Or do you think that everybody is her biggest cheerleader and they're saying, go, Cynthia, go? I think she's completely tone deaf to how much, first, her nephew destroyed her career, because again, let me be incredibly redundant. So at least this portion of the hearsay gets back to the DA's office. Cynthia Zimmer did nothing wrong, ethically or any other way, when it came to her nephew's lack of prosecution by the Attorney General's office. I think I've made that clear from the get-go, even when I was critical of the infamous phone call to Donnie Youngblood. But again, as I've talked about constantly, to make it clear, Donnie Youngblood was on one of our more listened to broadcasts and explained that she did nothing unethical. And it wouldn't be the first time that someone with clout and power and entitlement who has Sheriff Youngblood's cell phone, called him in a case of a family member or somebody they know in trouble. As I've talked about personally, if my nephew Thaddeus came up here and got into a scrape and was accused of getting into a fight and the sheriff deputies were involved as witnesses, I would absolutely call Donnie Youngblood and try to get some inside information. Was my nephew really involved, Donnie? What are your deputies saying? He'd tell me I couldn't tell me anything, but nevertheless, I would use that avenue. You damn right I would. So she's done nothing wrong. And why she wants to cloud what would have been a damn good legacy as the DA, as I said at the top of the show, the saddest thing about them going after Lauren Skidmore and trying to besmirch her reputation is it damages the legacy and probably ends the career of a damn good DA. The one thing that I have always adored about Cynthia Zimmer is she cannot stand criminals. And that's how I like my law enforcement. I don't know about y'all. I like when law enforcement hates criminals and tells their deputies to go after people that commit crimes, particularly violent crimes, domestic violence, sex trafficking, et cetera, et cetera. But the story that they've made up, that they were getting rid of the Open Door Network, not because Lauren Skidmore is clearly on the Christina Scrivener team. The fact that she went up to Sacramento with Shannon Grove and tried to help some legislation get passed, along with Christina Scrivener, along with one of Zach Scrivener and Christina Scrivener's 4 children. No, that's not what it has to do about. It has to do with the statements that she made in the Mata case and another case that they highlighted that I believe that they completely made up after the fact. I believe that Cynthia Zimmer told her minions, we're going to get rid of this woman. And they probably said, well, Chief, it's like the scene in Godfather. When Michael goes to the hospital and he realizes that Sterling Hayden, Sergeant, what's his name in the movie? Sollozzo's pal. Look that up for me, Dawson. What's Sterling Hayden's role in Godfather 1? And he comes to the hospital and Sterling Hayden has removed all the detectives and all the people protecting Marlon Brando, Don Corleone. And Michael says, what did you do with all the detectives? How much is Sollozzo paying you to kill my father?
Captain McCluskey.
Captain McCluskey. And he tells the guys, his fellow cops, hold him up so I can hit him in the face. And they say, Captain, he's a war hero. I don't care. Stand him up. And he breaks Michael's jaw. That's exactly what's happened here in Kern County. Cynthia Zimmer, we're going after Lauren Skidmore. And I bet her deputies were like, well, Chief, there's nothing in the file that we've ever complained about the Open Door Network. And Lauren Skidmore is Tim Smoot's daughter. He's a well-respected rancher who's lived here for decades. And we can't really find anybody who's ever said anything bad about Lauren Skidmore, period, let alone her ethics. I don't care. Stand her up. Stand her up. She's a war hero, Captain. I don't care. I'm going to break his jaw. And they're completely tone deaf to how this community feels about the Open Door Network, formerly the Alliance Against Family Violence. And they're completely tone deaf to how this community supports Lauren Skidmore. And I think I intimated it throughout the broadcast, and then it came up, the R word came up, and I co-signed. I wasn't going to use it yesterday, I really wasn't. But then somebody, I noticed on Facebook, many folks were talking recall, because I just simply said, I don't think they're aware of what Pandora's box they just kicked open, nor do they realize what domino they knocked over and what is going to fall afterwards. Here is Lauren Skidmore talking about the termination letter she received from the DA's office.
So I've had some folks reach out that do advocacy work, and they have said that the district attorney's office has also sat them down and had similar conversations. They unfortunately are not interested in coming forward because they're concerned that their victims will not be heard in court. So I'm kind of the Lone Ranger out here right now, but That came back in September. I didn't really think anything of it. I thought this is an unfair assessment because if you look at the backup documentation, my quotes are very vague in nature. That is what we are trained to do as advocates. We can talk about cases in terms of what caused this type of behavior. What one of the quotes is about what human traffickers look for in their victims, how they entice them to become a victim. The other comment was on the horrendous nature of the Genesis Mata case. None of it pertained to this is what they found on scene. This is what is private information that none of that is the case. So, I took that letter and thought this is a really unfair assessment. Like, give me some actual statements that was compromising of a case.
They couldn't do it because this was all manufactured to cover up the real intent, which was to silence this woman from supporting Christina Scrivener and to protect Christina, the mother of Zach Scrivener, who, according to our sheriff, committed a crime, and to protect Zach once again. And I just don't think they understand just what ruckus they've created. I really don't. Final, this is Lauren Skidmore talking about the one case that she has been very vocal about. Questioning your ethics, saying that you put cases in jeopardy. Aren't you curious as to what they're alluding to and you don't want to follow that up legally?
I'm pretty confident that I am not an unethical person. So, that's sure. If my board is interested in looking into it, if we're interested in having deeper conversations around the agreement and whether or not, their statements
are libelous,
yes, then maybe. But at this point, those things don't bother. This is all noise. Their response to media that was, 3,000 words, something ridiculous, that is just noise. And all they are doing is trying to take this out of the limelight against them and try to redirect it. And I don't think the community is going to fall for it.
No, they're not. They're not. And her father's name is Steve Smoot. Thank you, Matt Riley. I'm telling you, at least two a day. At least two a day. In fact, I think we should give something away at 5:30. Can you identify Ralph's two errors today? There's two a day. It just is what it is, y'all. I'm an old man. But she's absolutely right. The community's not buying this for a minute. Not buying it for any more than they believe that her nephew deserved mental diversion. Just not buying it. And the sequence of events, them saying that we found a better server provider for victims of domestic violence, when everybody in the know in this county knows there's no such entity within the county, unless they're going to LA, which means they're going to spend a lot more money than they were spending with the Open Door Network. There's no such entity that can provide the services that Lauren Skidmore, Lewis Gill, back in the day when the Alliance Against Family Violence and Sexual Assault was the name, there's no other entity in the county that can provide the services those people are providing. So it's all a canard. It's all a show. It's all a magic thing that they've created. And then they've gone so far as to not leave it alone and simply say, we found a better provider. We found somebody better than Lauren Skidmore, which is damaging enough. But they had to take it to another level. And they had to question the ethics of an ethical human being. Well, fellas, you picked on the wrong gal. And this community is going to ride in, like I said at the top of the show, like an old Western, like the cavalry coming over the mountain and save this woman. And they're going to go after your boss. And they're going to go after you too, Russell. And you too, let's make sure we get these names right. Mr. Kinzel, Joseph Kinzel, you bet not run for DA, my brother. Because if I have to lead the charge my damn self, I'm going to make sure you never get elected dog catcher. And maybe I don't have that kind of cachet. You're right. Maybe I don't. But maybe I do. Regardless, I'm going to do my damnedest. Y'all ain't right. It's that simple. Y'all just ain't right. You could have just left it alone. We found a better provider. We love Miss Skidmore. She's done a wonderful job in the 7 years. Boop, ba, bop, ba, bop, ba, bop. And hell, Christy Nome got a safe landing. You couldn't give her a safe landing? But no, y'all wanted to go that route? Okay. Okay, you go that route. We'll meet you there. We'll meet you there. And now you're completely connected to Cynthia Zimmer and the demise of her political career, and yours will go as well. Quick timeout. Not a lot of time before we get to the bottom of the hour. The Players' Championship is in the books, the second round. Nick Ragone, who could not be with us, is having an important dinner tonight. I asked him, what bigwig are you hobnobbing with tonight? And he wrote, LOL. Well, actually, I am having dinner with a billionaire. He was down at Ponte Vedra playing the course 2 weeks ago. He's getting ready for another championship tour event that he's created. He created one in St. Louis. David Toms was a past champion. Patrick Harrington. I told you I went one year. I got to hang out with Ozzie Smith in their suite at Busch Stadium. Got to have dinner with Hale Irwin. Got to hang out with Jordan Spieth. Played golf with Paul Stankowski and Carlos Moreno. Well, his boss moved to Philadelphia and took Ragone with him, as you can imagine. And now he started a Champions Tour event in Philly. I'll be there. I'll tell you all about it come this fall. In the meantime, we'll check the board down in Ponte Vedra, get you updated, and wrap this thing up on a Friday. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 at AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Adaptive Networks. Business owners, how many times have you called your IT company and felt like just another ticket number? Well, at Adaptive Networks, exceptional customer service isn't just the promise, it's how they do business every single day. And nobody knows that better than the folks here at American General Media, because they are a client of ours and we are a client of theirs. IT is incredibly important for a radio station. We can't depend on somebody saying, well, we'll be out there tomorrow, because all you hear is nothing. So it's do or die for us. That's why we depend on Adaptive Networks. And when you call, you'll actually talk to a real person who knows your name, understands your business, and genuinely cares about solving your problems. No phone trees, no run around, no attitude. That's what Adaptive Networks are all about. Call today at 661-241-0638. That's 241-0638. Join the IT network that American General Media uses every day.
Every business starts with an idea. With smart business buying from Amazon Business, get everything you need to grow in one familiar place. From office supplies to IT essentials and maintenance tools. Ready to bring your visions to life? Learn how at AmazonBusiness.com.
Even if you've given up on your New Year's resolutions, one health habit that's easy to keep is Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon, in stores at CVS, Walgreens, and now GNC.
Pump up the volume.
The water.
Business moves
I need
fast.
water.
Orders roll
God
in.
damn it.
Deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage,
I was just
you can
kidding.
keep up with confidence.
That was my
Every
last
package
curse.
stays in our secure network from dock to door.
That was my last curse. I will not curse on the mic any longer. I'll try.
USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
It's the third annual Autism on the Run, benefiting Hearts Connection. Saturday morning, April 11th at the Park at Riverwalk off Stockdale Highway. You can participate in the family walk, 2K, 5K, or 10K. Sponsorships, vendors, raffle items, and volunteers still needed. All proceeds stay local and help local families. There will be prizes, snacks, drinks, kids zone, and more. For tickets and info, contact Susan Graham at 661-328-9055. We'll see you there for Autism on the Run.
Your business moves fast. Your bank should keep up. At Valley Strong Credit Union, business banking is built for momentum with tools that help you manage cash flow, streamline payments, and fuel growth. Right now, there's never been a better time to switch. Open a new Valley Strong business account and get 3 months of business banking products and services free, up to $750 in value to power your next big move. Because when your business runs stronger, the whole Valley does too. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your business, grow your future. at valleystrong.com/business.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Headed into the final half hour of the week. As we come back, I'll get you updated on round 2 of the Players' Championship. The BCHS Eagles are on their way to Sacramento to try to win their first basketball state championship. And I've got some pop culture news that I'll share with you in our final half hour. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Friday. I would stick around if I you.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With us on the news, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The United States is getting slammed by a stretch of weather extremes from flooding rain to record heat and late season snow. On Wednesday, Washington, D.C. had a record 86 degrees, then snow fell on Thursday. Meteorologists say the Southwest faces a heat dome with prolonged triple-digit temperatures. Polar cold will push into the Midwest and East. A strong chemical smell has forced a temporary halt of flights at 4 major airports near Washington, D.C. The FAA says air traffic controllers cannot manage traffic safely during the incident. On Friday, officials stopped departures at Reagan National, Dulles, Baltimore, Washington, and Richmond airports. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 119 points. This is SRN News.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Chris Davis. An ID on the pilot killed in the helicopter crash near the Tehachapi Pass wind farm. The Kern County Coroner's Office says he was 62-year-old Stephen Madewell of New Plymouth, Idaho. No further info about the crash has been released, and the NTSB is in charge of the investigation. The city of Bakersfield may put part of the police department's offices in the old Bank of America building or Truxton Tower downtown. The city council voted to move forward with a lease with an option to purchase. The school threats in McFarland are over, believe police there, with the arrest of a 13-year-old who they say made threats Wednesday against the junior high. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
We'll admit, we've already thrown in the towel on the New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and we made it through dry January. But one healthy new habit we're sticking with is Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to help protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
With trusted ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and artichoke extract, it's gentle enough to take all year long.
No harsh cleanses, no extreme detoxes, just simple daily liver support. We really feel the difference.
Yep, more energy and the peace of mind knowing we can enjoy the good things in life while giving our liver the love it needs.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com. Or you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans. And now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Nobody's talking about that self-worth and purpose. We're talking about that. Nobody says it. There's more to you than what you're doing. Let's help you get there.
Let's help you get there. Let's just all agree that there's many different roads with different people dealing with homelessness and living on the streets to get them.
Right, I agree with you.
And as long as we can start there, then I think we can start to make a bigger difference.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Our phone number 842-KERN. By the way, that grandmother's complaint, that is how you complain about the broadcast. Because this is the typical way people complain about the broadcast. Ralph, during the break, I heard you dropping F-bombs and GDs, and I was in the car with my granddaughter. We were watching you on YouTube, and I'm going to call your general manager, and I'm going to call your sponsors, and I'm never going to listen to you ever again because this is just, I just can't take it, and I'll never listen to you again, and I'm on the phone with your general manager right now. That goes nowhere. That goes absolutely nowhere. But she said, look, this is my complaint. During the breaks, you're doing F-bombs, you know, boop, the boop, the boop. And then she knew to end with the greatest compliment that I can get, which is, I enjoy your show, even when I disagree with you. That is the greatest compliment I can get, because you're not going to always agree with me. That's insane to think that you will, even if you listen 5 days a week and you agree with me 80, 85, 90% of the time. There's got to be something that comes out of my pie hole that you don't agree with. I'm a very strange man. So that's how you complain. And just thinking random thoughts, I was thinking on my break, Cassie Biddle broke my heart yesterday. Owner, operator, Casey Steakhouse. I've been talking about how I have a big blood test Saturday, Monday, and then a big appointment with Geopolitical on Wednesday. Huge. Could be the difference between me having prostate cancer or perhaps having radiation, or it just being an infection that the antibiotics took care of again. But this is big. And I've been trying, along with the PSA, which I'm really not that freaked out about. I'm pretty sure that even if it is prostate cancer, we've caught it early enough. That's the key. So I keep begging you guys to see a doctor 2 or 3 times, because had I not gone to Hemel, had I not gone to Dr. Cothery, you know, my PSA number could have jumped up to 7, 8, 9, where I have full-blown cancer. At 4.3, and having detected it early enough, I might have to just simply go through radiation, or worst case scenario, they take out part of my prostate, or maybe take out my entire prostate. But it's early enough that it's most likely not to spread. But along with this, my A1C in my last, when we found out that my PSA jumped in my last blood exam, my A1C jumped back into the 6s. When I was like at a 5.8, it jumped up to like a 6.5. Now, I think most of that is, and if you're a loyal YouTube watcher, you probably noticed that the only thing I drink now is tea and my 50-ounce thing of Aquafina, which I thought I had in the refrigerator today. Did you drink my Aquafina? I'm kidding, Dawson. But I was drinking coffee for months with either the creamer that I bought or that JR bought. Now, when JR buys it, we're in deep trouble. We go in diabetic coma because he gets like I get like the caramel macchiato, which is sweet enough, but he gets these things that are like, it's like putting syrup in coffee. I mean, these things are sweet. And I thought, since I wasn't using any sugar, I could put like 25% cream. And I think that's the reason my A1C jumped. So to make a long story short, because it's a Friday and we all just want to go home, I cut out the coffee. I've been doing some tea, the medicine ball from Starbucks, the honey and whatever hell is else in it. And I haven't been eating baked potatoes. I haven't forgotten where I was going with this. So I ran into Cassie and Mark, her significant other, yesterday. And Mark is a loyal listener. He listens more than Cassie. And he looked at me and he goes, so you're not having baked potatoes? And I said, I'm not. But you're having the garlic mash. I go, that's less than the baked potato with the sour cream and the butter and the chives. And he was like, no. And I was like, are you kidding me? No. And then Cassie backed him up. Ralph, all the butter and all the things, why do you think the mashed potatoes taste so good? And I was like, damn. So I'm back to, well, at least this weekend, if I go up there, I'm back to sliced tomatoes as my side. But my blood test is Monday, so at this point. And I ate a Hershey bar. They were 2 for $1. I had to do it, Dawson. I still got one of them in my refrigerator. It could go this weekend, though. It could go. Well, because I don't want to like rig my A1C test. You know what I mean? I have to live the way I'm going to live after Monday. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to be paying attention. Like I haven't had, I'm big on the Italian sandwich from Jersey Mike's. But he told me, I asked him, how did my A1C jump? He said, you eating a lot of bread? And I was like, well, yeah, I'm having that Italian sandwich about 2 or 3 times a week. I'm having the egg salad sandwich from Bonnie's Best, which is probably the best thing because I'm brown bread. Brown bread. It's even better than wheat. But yeah, I was eating a lot of that Italian sandwich a lot. And I eat a lot of sandwiches. I live right across the street from Subway. So I eat the chicken sandwich, a little 6-inch chicken sandwich. I thought that was doing me good health-wise. But all that bread was driving my carbs up and driving my A1C up. So I'll let you know on Monday. We'll see. Because, yeah, the more I think about it, we might have to kill that Hershey bar this weekend, Dawson. 2 for 1 at the Arco. 842-5376, 842-KERN. What do you got?
Ralph, you act like Israel is a true ally.
Well, if they're not, somebody's been getting our back for about, I don't know, since 1947 in the Middle East. You got another friend that you can point to in the Middle East? I'm all ears. I'm all ears. Since Israel is not an ally in the Middle East, who's kept the peace? Who's been our friend? Tell me. Iraq, Iran, Qatar, Saudi Arabia? Now there's an ally that's not an ally. There's an ally that may have been involved in 9/11. So if you want to question allies, I would start with Saudi Arabia. But to imply that Israel has not been a loyal friend and the island of democracy in the Middle East? Like, are we tapped into a high school today, Dawson? Are you sure? We're not exclusively tapped into like an LA Unified School public school? You sure? Okay. These are grown adults that are asking these questions. Dawson's so scared he didn't know what to say. He's like,
I don't know who these people are. I just see a phone number.
I'm joking, Dawson. Go with it. This is my attempted humor. This is as good as it gets, dude. I'm not Cedric the Entertainer. This is as good as it gets. So might as well roll with it. Have fun. You get to go home when you ain't here Monday. What do you care? Who you got? Who you got on the phone? I mean,
I don't know.
You didn't
ask.
Okay, Dawson, say who's calling?
Who's calling?
Are they on?
You should be here.
Carlos, you're on the Ralph Bailey Show.
Hey, Ralph. Hey, I played with Michael Trumpsy last year, and I know he's got a new team this year, but that's cool. But I've just gone through prostate trouble like you kind of encountering.
Yeah.
And
what was your PSA? What was your PSA?
Well, it started at about 6 or 7, and then when it got into over 10, they kept an eye on it, and then they gave me the biopsy. If you're under 10, they're probably just going to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I'm about 4.3.
Oh, you're good. 0 to 4 is good.
That's what I read.
Anything 5 to 10, 5 to 9, keep an eye on it, and over 10, that's when they're going to do like a biopsy, and that's the most painful thing you'll ever have.
Well, I don't know if you were with us on Wednesday, but Howard Marcus is going through that, and he talked about it. And you're right; it made me cringe just listening to it.
Yeah, the first one I had, it wasn't nice. It was like a small curling iron.
Oh,
had to be inserted, and then they put it.
And they don't drug you?
A little numbing, yes, there. And then this is the first one, and then they take about 20 samples. They're like a little electric shock inside your body, and that's painful.
Oh man!
And then my numbers got really high. Unfortunately, they sent me for another one, and they knocked me out for that one. That's probably what Marcus is doing.
Okay. All right.
And then I ended up having cancer, and I got the radiation treatment, and I'm going to wait for the results in about a week and a half.
Oh, you're going through this right now? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I ended the radiation, but yeah, just keep an eye on it. And they'll probably send you to a urologist, a specialist for that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Was the radiation painful?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, that's what Cothry said would be my next step if, in fact, it's still elevated. But they put me on the second time. He said me on antibiotics to see that if it's an infection, and I'll find out the real deal on Wednesday.
Yeah, and you can go two ways: either radiation to knock it out, or removal of the prostate. And I did the radiation. You kind of feel like James Bond in Goldfinger for a second, but
they get your legs spread and just come right up the hill, huh?
Well, no, they just. I mean, it's an X-ray kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Radiation.
That's a great illusion, though.
Yeah,
that's a great illusion.
But, just keep on top of things.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
You're all just says.
I appreciate that. Hey, you playing the tournament this year?
No, unfortunately, I was waiting for a turnip seed. I tried texting last week because I was on his team last year, and he said he'd do the thing if he had his team as last year.
Yeah,
he's playing with you guys.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, James just blew everybody away with the $1,500 donation. What could we do? You know.
Got it, man.
Yeah.
All
right. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. All right, take care.
Take care, bro.
You too. That was cool. Wow. Yeah, I'm nowhere near 6, 7, 9. That's where, what did Howard say he was at 9? Now they got me nervous. I hope, my problem is, because again, this is my second bout with the antibiotics where I started. Again, I know loyal listeners are tired of me talking about this, but I started at 2.5 and that jumped to a 3.7. And that's when Dr. Cothery caught it. And he said, well, do you sit? And I said, well, yeah, I sit, but I sit for 3 hours. It's not like I sit, most of y'all sit for like 5, 6, 7 hours a day. Bankers, tellers, etc. And office workers. I'm just on this thing 3 hours a day. And that's why I sit on this this Mac, because he said it just could be infection. So I took the antibiotics and it fell from a 3.7 back into the 2s. So Hemmel, being as thorough as he is, said, let's do this again. Let me get you on the antibiotics and let's take another blood test and let's examine it. So I just finished the antibiotics. My blood test is Monday. My exam is on Wednesday. And we'll see where I am. But my issue is, okay, so what if it falls back down from 4.3 to back into the 2s? Isn't that what happened the last time? And then I got off the antibiotics and it jumped back up even higher than it was before. That's what I mean. So if he comes back on Wednesday and says, well, you're in the 2s, you're fine. How do I know that? Because it was in the 2s before when I got off the antibiotics. And then it jumped all the way to 4.3. So I don't know. I'll let you know what Hemmel says on Wednesday. But the reality is, and why we talk about this so often is, if you're over 50, particularly if you're over 60, and damn sure if you're over 70, you're very likely to get prostate cancer. The key, and if you are to get a cancer, prostate cancer is the one you want to get, because if it's caught early enough, as Carlos just explained, there are several avenues to stop it. Yes, the most radical, the biopsy is a little painful. It'll save your damn life. And if nothing else, they can remove the entire prostate and it'll save your damn life. But they can't save your life if you don't go see a physician. If they don't know what your PSA is, if you don't know what your PSA is, there's no helping you. And then you come in and it's at a 12 and it's too late and you're at stage 4. The next thing you know, you've left your wife and children hanging and your grandchildren because you were too stupid not to go to the hospital or a doctor 2 or 3 times a year. That's all I ask. 2, 3, 4 times a year, go see your doctor. You know what I mean? I mean, you change the batteries in your damn fire alarm more than that. So go see a physician, would you please? Let's go ahead and take our final break of the week, wrapping up another 5 days of outstanding radio broadcasting right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we're streaming live at kernradio.com. When we come back, we'll clear the board. A lot of you are vocal about the war. You want to yell at me and tell me how stupid I am and how stupid the president is. We'll do that and get the Samuel out of here. What's for dinner tonight, Dawson? Are you having dinner with your fiance?
Trying to figure that out.
Are you having dinner with your fiance?
I'm planning on it, yeah.
Is she still in Visalia?
She's coming down tonight. So.
Coming to visit you. Good fiance. Casey Steakhouse, always an alternative. What am I having for dinner? 48 hours before a blood test. Sushi'd probably be a good choice. Yeah, I think I'm going to do some sushi. Let me get out of here. I got to call Bento Sushi. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1
Call Bento
and AM
Sushi.
1180 KERN. Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, we'll have the latest in gas price technology. That's always good news. The latest in our half a cat fight between the DA's office and the Open Door Network. We got America's Job Center, a current. It's all happening
I'm sorry
6
to
to
call
9
so
a.m.
late.
Right here at News Talk 96.1.
I'll be there
We're
about
streaming live on the
6:05.
World Wide Web at kernradio.com.
Okay,
First
thank
Look
you.
with Scott Cox,
Bye-bye.
6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and
I normally call it 5:30.
KERN.
It's that man again for
All you gotta do
Sangera
is slice
Subaru
up a
and a
couple
Subaru
fish,
A Lot to Love
couple
event
fishes.
going on now through March 31st at Sangera Subaru. And of course, spring is the best time to get an incredible offer on that new Subaru you've been waiting for, like a 2026
Did you guys
four-speed
notice? I want you to hear
CVT.
the
Lease one
Subaru
now
first.
for only $179 a month for 36 months and just $5,000 due at signing. And remember, every Subaru always comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive. And don't forget, this offer ends March 31st. So stop by and see my good friends Damon Culbertson, Hassan Levy, and all the guys during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Pick out your new Subaru for spring and hit the open road. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community at 5500 Gasoline Alley Drive in the Bakersville Auto Mall, 24/7 at sangerasubaru.com.
Through March 31st, 2026. Lease a 2026 Forester
guys
CVT
notice
for
I did not put
$179 a
up
month on a
the,
36-month lease. $5,000 due at lease signing plus tax and license.
Model
Zero security
X
deposit.
today?
7,500 mile year limit. 15 cent per mile overage.
This doesn't
MSRP
feel like it.
$32,183. VIN number T3030467. Product code
That's
TFB.
bad
Your
luck.
Look up in the
Especially on
sky.
Friday the
Yeah, that's what
13th.
they cry. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's them. It's Paul Sheldon's team, that well-oiled machine of
We're going to
Christine,
use that as
Kelly,
a trivia
and Lynn.
question one day.
Okay, not
Can you name
superpowers,
all of
but
Ralph's
still
bobbleheads?
thousands of hours.
What's wrong now?
Deciphering Medicare's whims, fighting the good fight, learning what works right. Christine, Kelly, and Lynn. So it might seem old-fashioned, but hard work with passion most often gives you the win.
That's a little tiny
And the
piece
trio
of
that
rice.
knows are those Medicare pros, Christine, Kelly, and Lynn. You know, actually to many, they are superheroes. Christine, Kelly, and Lynn.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
Trucordia, a new name, but a trusted partner for Kern County businesses. At Trucordia, we provide business solutions that include comprehensive commercial insurance and proactive risk strategies to help protect your company and keep operations running smoothly. We also offer benefit solutions with flexible options for both businesses and individuals, supported by easy online tools and hands-on local service that makes everything simpler. For guidance you can count on, call Don Coons at 661-401-2280. Trucordia, building trust.
Don't miss Beethoven, the Bakersfield Symphony's upcoming performance. Saturday, March 21st at Dignity Health Theater. Experience Beethoven's Violin Concerto in D major, a masterpiece of lyric beauty and quiet power, performed by acclaimed violinist Eunice Kim. The evening concludes with Beethoven Symphony No. 6, Pastoral. Don't miss the Beethoven experience. Saturday, March 21st at Dignity Health Theater. Tickets start at just $35. For more info, go to bsonow.org. That's bsonow.org.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
Are they still on the phone? Are they still on the phone? Once mean-spirited, ugly listener called in and reminded me that there's a smattering of rice, which we all know are carbs, underneath the sushi that I'm about to eat, the salmon and the yellowtail. You can't tell me that that little bit of rice underneath my salmon and underneath my yellowtail is enough to boost my A1C. And like I said, I can't prep for this thing. You know what I mean? I don't want to change my diet specifically for my blood tests. I'm going to live the way I live and see if some of the subtle changes, like not drinking coffee filled with cream, not eating as many sandwiches with bread, not eating bread. Although I did it the other night at Casey's Steakhouse. I have one piece of bread with the salsa and the beans, one little tiny sliver of bread. You know, like most restaurants, they come out with the big old loaves of bread. No, Cassie comes with the little tiny pieces and you put a little beans and a little salsa over the top. Are you kidding? I didn't use butter. But I just put little beans and I had one little slice. But you can't tell me that little piece of rice. And like I said, I don't want to train for my A1C. I want to live the life I'm living, but just subtract some things that I added that I think got me from a 5.8 A1C to a 6.3 or a 6.5. And that's the cream in the coffee. That's the Italian sandwich from Jersey Mike's, literally 3 times a week, like Monday. Then I'll have it again like on Thursday. Then I'll have it again maybe on a Saturday afternoon watching ball games. And so I'm just cutting those stuff out. But I got to live the way I live. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. What else you got on the board? Let's get out of here.
I like hearing this version of Ralph. Please continue to fight for and give a voice to the good eggs of this community.
Thank you. And Lauren Skidmore is one. And that's why I am so vehement about this, because as I've talked about for 32 years, this is a horrible city. It's a horrible city. It's laid out badly. It has horrible municipal leadership. The weather is either too hot or too cold or too windy. The city's laid out poorly. Do you know, to go home, I live northwest of where I'm sitting right now. To go home, I've got to head west. What do I say? I live northwest? I live northeast. I live northeast of here. Downtown. But to go home from this complex, I have to drive west, then make a U-turn in the middle of California Avenue on a Friday night at 6 o'clock. So we sit there in the median waiting for the traffic because it's lined up in the slow lane because they're trying to get on the 99, which is slow because it's a Friday and the trucks coming down 99 can't make the transition turn on the 58. So normally I could see the trucks lined up, but apparently not so. The traffic is flowing. But normally it'd be backed up, which backs up the traffic in California. So you got to make a U-turn, and you can't make the U-turn because the line is all lined up along Marie Callender's and Barnes & Noble, just so I can turn back around and head downtown. So the city's laid out poorly. It's got poor municipal leadership. The weather sucks. We have an inferiority complex. We've got some questionable leaders in our community, but the people are what make the difference. Because at the end of that sentence, you have to ask them, Ralph, why is your black behind still in this community for over 3 decades? Because the people are phenomenal. Absolutely freaking phenomenal. I've talked about families that treat me like family. The Arias, Mike and his family, his sister was just here. I've known his daughter since she was 8 years old. She's now a 33-year-old woman. The Zucchinis, Chris, the late Leroy, his mom, his wife, his brother, Jeff, the Valprados. I don't have to list, you know them all. I've told you one of the greatest Valprado stories ever. I was at Monty's funeral. And I've known the kids since they were little kids, but they've gone through a transition. I don't see them as much. And I didn't speak to Gino's daughter because she's now a grown woman. She's matriculating at the University of Kentucky. I told Sandy and Gino this story. And she walked up to me at her grandfather's funeral and she said, "Excuse me, Mr. Bailey, I don't know if you remember me." And I stopped her right there and I go, "No, I didn't think you remembered me." And we sat and we talked for about 5 minutes, how she's doing in Lexington and what she's majoring in and boop. I mean, I've just been almost adopted by 6 or 7, the Hattons. John Hatton bought us lunch yesterday, about 6 of us at Luigi's. 6 of us at Luigi's. And there was wine involved. I certainly wasn't drinking. But anyway, it's the people. And Lauren Skidmore is the phrase that I use, one of those people. One of those people that make this a better community to live. There's a long list of them. I named a bunch of them just now. And for our DA to use her power and her flunkies, this isn't about ending the contract with the Open Door Network, although that's where this whole thing began. But this is about them mean-spiritedly, maliciously, and to me, libelously, claiming that suddenly, out of nowhere, for the first time in her life, for the first time in her career, Lauren Skidmore is being called unethical. There's no paperwork with the relationship between the DA's office and the Open Door Network to prove that. But they came out and questioned this young woman's ethics. And I will say this, until either a recall is in effect, or Zimmer is removed, or she is not reelected in 2028. Y'all picked on the wrong gal. And this community is just not going to stand for it. Not going to do it. You got your nephew over the goal line, Cynthia, but this ain't going to stand. She wouldn't be elected dog catcher if she ran today. And we're going to keep that bell ringing. Despite my gratitude and debt to the DA's office for the work they've done for me. That's going to do it. I got to get out of here. For Chris Burdick, Dawson Pitcher filling in, I'm Ralph Bailey. That's what's really going on. Have a great weekend. I'll wrap to you Monday.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Wild weather is expected over the coming days.
From an atmospheric river and flooding.
Okay, what I didn't admit during the show, I do get the fried rice. I do get the fried rice on the side, but I don't eat it all. It comes in a little small container, and I eat about half of it. Like I said, I'm not going to drastically change my diet. I'm just going to subtract some sugar elements and some further carbohydrates. But I'm going to eat sushi because in the end of the day, the salmon and the yellowtail, I think, is better for me and my blood pressure than the few carbs that I'm going to get. You know what I'm saying? That's at least my logic. We'll see what happens. I'll let you know Thursday morning or Wednesday afternoon after my doctor's appointment. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening.
Are you doing promos and stuff or not?
No, we don't do them.
Do you want to hear a personal anecdote?
I'll put it on you.
Okay.
What?
Do you want to hear a personal anecdote about PSA scores and all that?
Sure. What do you got?
So my dad just finished all that stuff up.
Really?